Did you hear about Dave Chappelle's?
Yeah, I've been actually holding off, waiting it so we could watch it tonight.
The only reason I even heard about his special
Was
is
because of
because
Vice?
might have been, well, I wouldn't say Vice specifically, but
Okay.
Vice probably spearheaded it.
Okay.
Was because of people complaining about it.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that too. I mean, I already knew that Dave Chappelle was coming out with a special before the Vice thing, but then, like, once it came out, I was reminded the fact that it came out. Like, I got told like a week in advance, this is coming out. I watched the I don't know if you watched it, but it was a trailer for it.
Okay,
Where it's
no, I
Morgan.
haven't seen
it's
it. Yeah.
it's Dave Chappelle walking in the desert,
Oh.
right? And then it's Morgan Freeman narrating it,
Oh.
and then I was like, okay, great. And it's like August 26th, the episode's coming out, and then I waited a week, and then Vice's article came out. And I'm like, oh, I guess it must be out now.
Yeah.
And all the comments, like 95% of them are, thanks for reminding me. I'm totally gonna go watch it.
Vice.
Thanks. I'm gonna go watch this free thing that I have already on my Netflix account.
Yeah, Vice just gave them like free advertisement.
Yeah,
Like
I wouldn't be surprised if he just paid them to do that, because the whole special kind of seems to have that theme. But I haven't watched it. So.
I haven't watched it. I've heard it's like, with all the criticisms from his last special, like he pretty much doubled down on everything. So
yeah, that's what a comedian does.
That's what a good comedian does.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it'll be good. But yeah,
I think it'll be funny.
You know,
I think it'll be our sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be the ones offended by it, so
No.
I think we'll be fine.
But we both have drinks here, so let's do a cheer to Vice for reminding us. Thank you, Vice.
Poor journalism and promoting all the things that you hate.
That's right. Welcome to the Overtly Disagreeable podcast, where two assholes talk about nothing. We're your hosts. My name is Ken, and this is Shane.
Hello, everyone.
I realize I sometimes do an actual gesture, like I point my hands to
Yeah,
you.
but nobody sees that.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I'm just making reference.
Now you know
to
what
that.
voice acting is like. You speak through your body.
They actually move their body
Oh,
and
yeah.
contort and whatnot.
I was watching something with Gerard Butler where I think was it GQ or some shit like that, where they do like they sit an actor down and they ask him about their like most famous roles, and they talk about like whatever they want. Like, so for him, one of the ones was oh man, I'm still residually baked. What were we just talking about?
You said Gerard Butler.
Before that, they got me on that.
Something
that he's been in that. God damn it.
Now I'm lost.
Oh shit.
Great start.
Rough.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball super hard. But anyways, they do these interviews. I'm trying to
Voice acting?
Right. So
Okay,
he did
that's what you
How to
needed,
Train
okay.
Your Dragon. He's the red Viking beard dude.
I'm trying to remember. Fuck, I don't remember who that would be, unless you're talking about like Hiccup's dad.
That might be it.
Okay.
He looks like a Viking. He's got a red beard. But anyways, he was talking about how when he was in the booth, he was like making motions and doing the voice and stuff like that. And then the animators took inspiration from his movements. So it's like more of the characters infused in that character from him specifically, even though he's only technically being used for the voice.
Yeah.
The animators are using his motions as part of the character because it's coming from him.
That's pretty cool. So it's almost like he's acting too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean like physically acting.
Exactly, yeah. And I kind of already knew that actors kind of did that and had an influence on the animation ever since like Robin Williams in Aladdin as the genie.
I had
no
idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So much of the genie's like sporadicness and like motion and how he looks is influenced by Robin Williams himself, like from the artist interpreting
Robin Williams.
Like,
to
get him for the job as the genie, someone gave him like test footage of him, like his voice over some animation of like the early parts of the genie, and he's like, yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
Because the guy wanted Robin Williams as the person to be the genie. So and Gerard Butler was the same thing, where he was like surprised of how much of the character came through from just his voice acting and the motions he was doing in the booth. But that goes back to what you were saying about like you motioning even though nobody sees it.
Even though nobody sees it.
Oh, whatever.
And then Robin Williams sued Disney.
No, he's dead. I mean, he did.
He did.
I know, he kind of just blacklisted them. He's like, I'm never working with you again.
Yeah.
You screwed me over.
Fuck. It's a hard call, but I would say he almost screwed himself over.
No, he said what he wanted to be. I'm in a quarter of the movie. Only put me in a quarter of the promotional stuff. But then they took that as, we're going to put you 25% as the entire poster, and everyone else can be little itty bitty
was it that? Okay, I was talking about the money thing. Because he took a lower pay for Aladdin because he's just like, oh, it's a kid's movie. You know, I just want to do my
That
part.
might be a factor too.
Yeah.
I mean, they screwed him over quite a bit by being like seedy business people.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But you know, here we are. How was your week, man?
pretty good.
Yeah.
I got that huge order I was telling you about.
Yes.
That like 5,000-6,000 pieces.
You got it done?
Yeah, it took the entire week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you got like you got about 25% done in like a day and a half, right?
Yeah, a
Okay.
little over. No, a little over half. In a day and a half.
Yeah.
But like half of one side. So yeah, I guess a quarter. Actually, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did all the other side of those ones that I did,
Yes.
and then the front and back of the other portion of shirts, which was just under half.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
each like basically the first day was doing all the like the day and a half that I did before.
Yes.
Right, doing that again for the first 2 days.
Yes.
And then
for the other side.
The next day, the next 2 days was one side and then the other side.
Jesus Christ.
So then I finished all those on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a second part to the order where it's volunteer shirts.
Okay.
And it was like another 500 front and back. So
okay,
then that was
500's a little bit quicker.
Yeah, so that was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that was the entire job done. Got so bored looking at that image. I meant to bring it up for last week because that's when I initially had thought of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take Whistler and you drop the W and the S, you know what you get?
You mentioned this before and I forgot.
You get Hitler.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a conspiracy.
It's a dog whistle term.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then because I got off work early on Friday, which was what I was trying to aim for, I went to go see MC Hammer. And
right.
Bobby
yeah, you
Brown
mentioned that you wanted to go see that. And so you did.
Yeah, at the PNE.
Yeah.
And it's a free concert. Well, free-ish.
Free,
You have to pay for admission, but
yeah,
it was, much cheaper than going to a real concert.
How much was the admission?
It's $18.
Oh, admission to the P&E. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. Sorry.
And then you literally go to a booth and they're just handing out tickets.
Yeah.
And then I stood in line for a little bit to get in early.
Because like when we were looking up ticket prices for MC Hammer,
That was for seated and shit like that.
Okay.
Like there's, I don't know how to put it. There's a stage.
Yes.
And then they have a sectioned off area where it's like, that's the $25 seating area, I think. Like the
Okay.
first portion.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the like open area where people can walk.
I see.
And then there's bleachers.
Okay.
And then part of the bleachers is a reserved section, which is I think is the other part of the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's box office.
Right.
Where
okay.
you're like above
Where you-
even the bleachers, but you have your own separate thing, has lights, and
That's
you're
nice.
separated from everybody else, and it's easier
You
to
have your own
drinks.
like area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and you can dance around with your friends a little more, but that of course costs way more money than probably the $60 that we were looking at. But yeah, it was a fucking good show.
They had that fucking like $10 fuck you fee.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what it was, but it was just ticket handling fee or something like that.
Yeah, they always do that. Like Ticketmaster does that all the time.
Yeah, Ticketmaster has the quote unquote convenience fee, but you pay
Yeah.
it regardless if you get it online or go in person.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Yeah.
I was listening to a thing where a comedian was talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
How it's bullshit that Ticketmaster like everywhere just takes like no, it doesn't take a portion of it,
Mm-hmm.
but adds on to the ticket price, which then goes to the consumer. So you put something out as a $60 ticket, it ends up being an $80 ticket by the time it gets to your actual audience.
Yes.
Which means that some people aren't going to go.
Yeah, because it's that extra fee.
Yeah, or just the price point is just out of their range. You know, they could justify 60, but when they find out they have to pay 80 plus tax, it's like, oh, now I'm paying $100.
It's close to 100. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he was bitching about that. I can't remember the specific comedian though. Yeah.
But it's it's the fuck you fee. That's what I'm referring
Pretty
to it
much.
as.
I'm trying to think if I did anything else this week other than playing video games.
Yeah.
Not a lot, no.
It's the same games. Smite, Dead Cells.
Yeah.
And what was the last one I was going to mention?
Apex.
I wasn't going to mention
For
that.
Honor.
Huh?
For Honor.
No.
Because I was playing that last week. I've been playing a bunch of that.
The side-scrolling one.
Dead Cells?
No, not Dead Cells. The other one where you play as a little dude.
Oh, Hollow Knight. Yeah.
Hollow Knight. Thank you.
I haven't picked
That's
that one
the
up in a little bit because
Okay.
I've been distracted with so much other shit.
Mhm.
I've been trying to grind through the Apex Battle Pass because I like didn't play it that much, and it's getting to like the last like 2-3 weeks of the Battle Pass. I think.
Ooh,
I
you gotta
think.
fucking rush through it,
Yeah,
man.
and doing the challenges is a pain in the ass because they're
Yeah.
like hyper specific.
Yeah, I
doing
remember you
things.
mentioning
It's like
it.
get 50 headshots with the light machine gun. It's like, what if I don't get a light machine gun this game? What if I don't want to pick up the light machine gun? You know what I mean? Or what if the light machine guns that I'm available to me and not the ones that I'm going to be able to get kills with. Anyways, it's a lot of complicated. You basically have to like look at them all the time, every game, and be like, which ones am I going to try to do this time? And then try to go for the most broad range. So it'll be like, there'll be 2 for Lifeline, so you got to play Lifeline. Then it'll be
get
like,
those 2 at once.
Make sure that you get a shotgun and make sure you get a light machine gun, and then do that for like 3-4 games. Try to kill like
20 birds with one stone.
Yeah, exactly. So you're trying to get the widest net because you might complete one challenge per game, but if you can work on another challenge, that means that in 3 games you'll get that one done, and eventually it all kind of adds up.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And I'm only like 30 levels in out of 100.
Jesus Christ, do you think you'll make it?
I think if I really put my nose down to the ground, I can fucking grind it out. It'll be fucking difficult as shit, and I don't know if I'll play Apex the next Battle Pass season. But the reason why I'm trying to get specifically the Battle Pass for Apex done, not only that I'm really far behind, is it pays for itself. It's like the Fortnite one.
Yes.
So I want to complete it at least to get my money back.
Yeah, so that you don't get your money back, but you get access to the next Battle Pass.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Through the same amount of currency.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I want to pay this one time $15 and never have to buy a Battle Pass again.
Yeah.
That would be nice to me. So if I can do that, that's my goal is. Like, I don't even care about the 100.
That's a tall
level.
order, man.
I know, but at least some of the challenges give you just straight Battle Pass level.
Yeah,
just a straight one, whereas other ones give you like points.
Yeah.
So it kind of can work out.
But you're only level 30 out of 100.
Yeah, I know. It's
like
brutal.
a million more levels to go.
Yeah, I know. But remember, I don't have to worry about XP. I just get the Battle Pass level.
Yeah, you complete the challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to work on for that. Haven't touched Hollow Knight in a little bit. I want to pick up Stellaris again because they updated it recently.
Okay.
They have like basically they used to have, no, they still have it, but it's different trees that you can go for your culture.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's like domination, harmony, exploration, all that kind of shit, right? But once you cap out on all of them, there's like an ascension tree where you become like the next level of civilization where you're your reach is so broad and so big that you start building crazy shit. So you can build like Dyson spheres.
I don't even know what that is.
It's when you build like a solar array around a sun.
Oh, I see. So you can
harness it for like solar
energy. Get energy.
But you build it like right around the sun.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That's fucking amazing. Okay.
And then there's other ones where it's like you can turn like an asteroid belt into an entire production assembly line.
Oh my god, ships. Yeah.
So like you like crazy mega structures. I don't know what the limits on it. I think I've read online that you can only really build one of them. Like it takes like forever to research one of these crazy technologies, and then you can do that one thing. But that in turn makes it so that your society doesn't need so much one of like a resource, right? Yeah. So if you do the Dyson sphere, then you don't have to build energy.
Because you get fucking crazy amounts.
I would assume
already.
so. Yeah. Okay. Right. So then you can do your other things for production on your planets. So it changes the game a little bit. I'd like to play it, but I just haven't got back into it again. Because I'm trying to get through Apex. Yeah. Trying to get through the Smite Battle Pass.
You got to prioritize your gaming.
Exactly. And when there's ones that are time sensitive, it's a little bit more of a crunch.
Yeah.
Stellaris is always going to be around.
Still, yeah, I mean, fair enough.
So I'll be fine. And that's just a me game anyways, for the most part, because I can't get other people to play it consistently enough.
No, well, it's a hard game to get into.
Yeah, but I did get some people to buy it. Yeah. And I did have some multiplayer games where I had people playing with me that are my friends, and it was fun. Even though if we just go silent for an hour while we're like click, click, click.
That game should be like multiplat wasn't the word I'm looking. Crossplat.
Oh yeah, that would
for
help
online.
It.
That way you could play with our mutual friend Wes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. If it was on PC, just PS4, that'd be dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Although his inputs would be far faster than me. He'd be like at least 50% ahead of me, probably.
Isn't that game turn based? Am I wrong about that?
No, it's time based.
Oh,
but
I thought the time goes.
But you can micromanage better.
Okay,
so I'm gonna be more like disoriented and having to get stuck on one thing and then get distracted. Whereas he's got like.
Yeah, he can just use the mouse.
It's real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty optimized for a controller, but at the same time, there's still limits. Hotkeys helps too.
Yeah, but they did a really fucking good job.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the concert, I guess it was MC Hammer and Bobby Brown.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome. Mentioned. Hammer puts on a crazy ass show.
Yeah, I
crazy
would
backup
think so.
dancers.
I'm surprised he's still putting on shows. He's old. He's got to be like fucking 70 years old
now. No, he's only probably got to be like 50.
Yeah.
He's probably young when he came out with Can't Touch This and stuff like that. So
does he still wear the same outfits?
No, he was wearing like an all white suit. He almost looked like a chic like a shika.
Okay.
Or whatever. But he had like the towel on the head and stuff like that, and the
That's
little
funny.
bandana, and an all white suit.
In an all white suit.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay.
And he did some moves. It was good. He's still dancing.
All right.
He had tons of backup dancers who were just tearing it up dancing.
Okay.
Like Bobby Brown, he came out with like a whole band and like drums, keyboard, bass, and
they basically made a party out of it.
Yeah, and then they cleared all that shit off the stage, and it was just music playing and people dancing and him singing. It was great.
So you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, I had a blast. I took one video because I wanted to enjoy most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he like on my video, the camera's so shitty and I'm so far away that he's just like glowing because he's all white and all these lights are hitting him.
Yeah.
But all the backup dancers, you can see what they're doing and shit like that.
Okay, well at least you got that.
And the quality of the sound wasn't too bad considering my phone's not like amazing for video quality and stuff like that.
What are you talking about? We're recording on your phone right now and
No,
it works out well.
No, we're not. We are recording on equipment that was probably more than my phone. Yeah, actually, in fact, I think just this is more
This was $400.
Yeah, no, I think that's by itself is more expensive than my phone.
Fine.
So yeah, a lot. What about you? What have you been doing this week?
So like last week, it's still working out, which is good. So I haven't given up yet. 1 week on or 2 weeks, depending on how you want to look at it.
In a row, like.
In a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I went 4 days this week, so I went one past. However, like my minimum is to do it 3 days in a week.
Oh, okay.
And I did it 4 days this week. So, pretty good there. Other than that, same as usual with me.
Just
not
work.
playing games, just work.
You didn't pick up anything?
Nothing, man. I don't know what it is. All I play is mobile games now, and even that, not so much.
Fucking casual bitch.
Yeah, I know. I hate myself. I've become everything I hate, man.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
You played yourself.
I played myself. And I'm still not a casual, okay? I am a top tier.
Mobile games means you're casual. If you're only playing mobile games for an extended period of time, you're casual.
Okay, man. Look, women like playing mobile games.
Yeah, and they're casual.
Okay. Women play like, what is it, like 70% of games or something like that?
On the phone, maybe.
That's the stat. So do you know about this stat?
Yeah, they basically just conflated mobile gaming that's
like,
accessible to anybody.
Yeah.
And like console gaming / PC gaming.
That's right, yeah.
And adding all the stats, and then it's like, oh yeah, 70% of people. It's like, yeah, maybe.
If you take out the phone part, then it changes to like 10 or 15% or something
probably.
like that. Probably more now.
I think like at least 25% is a fair guess. Because I like the amount of dudes that I have on my PlayStation as friends compared to women, it's definitely lower than 25%. But then again, not everybody goes on mic and blah 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 blah.
I wonder if that number shoots down even more so if you don't count streamers.
Oh yeah,
like
probably.
just people who play games purely for enjoyment.
Yeah, because if it's streamers, there's definitely probably a 60% plus market share for women.
Yeah. Hey man, it is what it is. Can't complain about that.
I suppose, yeah. The product is out there.
Yeah. Well, it's what the people want.
Yeah. Like it's capitalism.
It's capitalism. Yeah, which is why I can't get mad at it. There was that thing that happened like last year or something where the dude started releasing like thoughty Twitch streamer info to the IRS. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember something like that.
Yeah. And I thought that was hilarious, but then some people took it too far where they were just like trying to outright like ban a lot of these people from Twitch or Patreon or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's funny that like you're taking them to the IRS so they can get taxed on their income.
Yeah.
That part is funny. When you outright take away their income, that's a little like bullshit right there.
Now you're super jelly.
Yeah. Now you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
And this is coming from an asshole. Yeah. But not much happened for me this week. Just working out. I'm trying my best to not sleep until like it's like bedtime, like until like
Oh, you mean like not passing out during the evening?
Yeah, because like my bad habit is like I get home and then I pass out around like 7:30.
Oh yeah.
And only for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then I go back to sleep at like 2 a.m.
Okay.
I'm trying to put a stop to that shit.
Go to bed at 1?
Yeah, something like that. Go to bed at 1 or midnight maybe.
That's what I do most of the time too.
Yeah. I'm really just for lack of a better word, tired of
being tired
of
during
being tired.
evening.
Yeah.
Well, good. If you're making the effort, are you doing anything particular to try to counter that, or are you just doing it by will?
Just doing it by will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll just watch TV or whatever. I don't fucking care.
Doesn't that put you to sleep? Kind of passive.
Yeah, but like I don't know. What else am I gonna do? Play games? Like that puts me to sleep too.
Actively using your hands and your brain makes you go to sleep more than sitting still and basically only having input into your eyes.
Extra calories being burnt, man. Okay, gaming burns extra calories.
I don't think it burns enough calories to make you tired. It might make you exhausted mentally after gaming a whole bunch and thinking a whole bunch, but somehow I don't think that's really going to affect me and you.
Okay, well, it burns quickly, at least. It burns more calories than watching TV.
That is true, but I don't think that's going to attribute anything to your sleeping habits.
Well, I mean, maybe
the
maybe
1
not.
calorie you're
that
burning
1
by
calorie,
playing games.
I don't know. I managed to do it 3 out of 5 days this week. So
that's pretty good. I mean, it's a good start, right?
Yeah, so
it's all just about incremental change.
Gotta use willpower. I have to hate myself into it.
I just don't like napping. Yeah. I do it maybe once or twice a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where like I just come home from work and I can't deal and I just pass out for like pretty much the entire night.
You don't. So that's not something you normally do?
No,
oh shit,
no, not at all.
Oh wow, I'm so jealous of you.
Like I just don't like sleeping, to be honest.
Oh man,
like, if I sleep for like 6 hours a night most of the time, and my body wakes me up.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I know I should be sleeping for like at least 8 hours. I just don't want to sleep that much. Like,
I mean, that's what people say. I don't know how accurate that statement is.
Well, there was that one Joe Rogan podcast that I listened to with that sleep expert dude, and he was talking about the like adverse effects of not getting 8 hours of sleep, like good sleep.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Which means that probably I need actually more than 8 hours because I'm probably not sleeping. Like deep sleeping for 8 full hours. Right?
Yeah, okay.
It's like rested body for like 2 hours and 6 hours of maybe sleep if I do the full 8. So I probably need 10. You know what I mean? But then I can't do it. I just like going to bed early, not gonna happen, and waking up like without my body just naturally waking me up, it just doesn't work. Like I try to set alarm clocks, turn it off instantly.
Turn it off, yeah.
So like the best for me is when my body just wakes up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did that thing I told you a while ago where I had the alarm clock where I had to...
It just keeps getting louder and louder and louder.
Well, I mean, there's that, and then it does keep going louder, and that's fucking annoying. But, like, it won't stop unless I get up and spin around twice with my phone.
Oh, right,
you
have to interact with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that worked for a little while, but then I just ended up getting to the point where I just woke up, spun around twice, and then went back to bed.
Yeah, because you do it quickly enough that your body's not disoriented.
Yeah. The app is smart enough that it doesn't allow you to do it fast either.
Oh, okay.
You have to do it like at a slow pace or it doesn't count at all.
Swing your arms.
Doesn't work, unfortunately. It has buttons at the bottom where you have to put both your thumbs on it. Yeah. It's hard to do.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be easy to do from bed.
I've tried it. I've tried like holding it up, right, and then with my hand on there and then just spinning my arms around. So with my fingers on the bottom corners, didn't work.
Oh, okay.
The accelerometer can apparently tell the difference, so I have to actually get up and spin around and do.
But it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, so like I mean, yeah, like I said, I just do it and then I fucking go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Or maybe like I'll do it and then I'll think, oh, I should probably just start my morning routine. I go into the living room and then crash on the couch.
Oh yeah, see, I do the opposite. I like fall asleep on the couch and then at like 1 or 2 and then my body wakes me up at like 6 average, like 5 or 6, and then I throw myself into bed for 2 hours and then I wake up for work.
I hate sleeping on the couch. I feel like whenever I sleep on the couch I don't get a good night's rest, you know?
I kind of feel like that for me too. Like I can do it a couple nights and it doesn't affect me, but I know that when I do it the whole entire week I do feel a little more like worked out or just tired in general. Like I'm not getting a full sleep, but
fucking annoying.
I don't know. It's also in my back.
You and your fucking back.
Well, I mean, it is a couch and I'm sleeping on like cushions, but yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, like, I don't know what to talk about, but
I was going to talk about the Marvel thing, but
go for it. Yeah.
I assume you know what I'm referring to.
The Marvel, like Disney and
Marvel having
Disney and
Disney and Sony. Sorry, yeah.
For the Spiderman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I think everyone is jumping the gun a little bit.
Everyone did jump the gun.
Well, I mean, in terms of who's the bad guy, yeah.
I think everyone figured it out now.
Yeah, everyone
just had a moment to think about it. Everyone thought that Sony was just being a little bitch.
Yeah, but I was on Sony's side from the beginning.
Yeah, no, when I first heard about it and I got an actual detailed explanation, I'm like, no, that totally makes sense. Fucking Disney trying to throw their weight around because they know that like Spider-Man's the big shit.
Yeah, he's the only popular character.
And also,
left.
if they do that 50% deal, it's like that's just one step closer to Sony not being able to hold on to the license because they're not making enough money for it, so they're just going to sell it to Disney anyways for one big lump sum. And,
pretty much, yeah.
Like, that's just a fucking tactic. They're just trying to wear them out.
And like,
fuck Disney.
People are just like, no, Disney's being fair because they want to pay 50% of the expenses too. I'm like, Sony doesn't fucking need help with that.
Yeah,
they got that covered.
They might need a little bit of money just to make it easier for themselves, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, Sony is doing fine. Like between PlayStation, all the technology that they sell, and fucking then movies that they're doing. Like it's not just Spider-Man that they have.
A lot of people forget how big of a company Sony is.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're fucking
like
massive.
They think I don't know if people just think like they're just PlayStation, but they're far bigger than PlayStation. PlayStation's just a decent arm of Sony, but realistically, they're barely attached.
Barely.
The only thing they want is you to buy a Sony TV with your Sony PlayStation. That's where it pretty much ends.
It's just about branding. Exactly. Get more Sony products in your house.
It's like the iPhone thing or Apple, where you have to be in the universe, but with them, it's optional.
Yeah.
So.
But like you even like during console wars and stuff, you know, some idiots out there would be like, "Oh, Nintendo's a bigger company than Sony. Just look at all the games Nintendo makes." I'm like, are you? Like, do you not know what else Sony does?
They might be big in Japan because they have a lot of like other businesses that they're into because they sell toys in Japan and stuff like that. And they also do what other things? They have a bunch of other like cards.
Oh yeah,
like,
they don't the Amiibo cards. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, no, just in general. Like even like Nintendo started before they became a video game company. They were like a card collecting company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And like that kind of shit. Like they sold toys, and stuff. And then they got into the video game market.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's so. I'm assuming that they still have all that stuff.
Or something.
I guess so, or maybe they just needed a new property, so they're like, we needed to appeal to Americans. I don't know actually the whole history of it. I just know that they were like a toy company before that.
Yeah.
Before they released the Famicom.
Yeah.
And then when that came out and it was a hit, and then they moved it to America. And then reinvigorated the gaming market. It just pretty much took off, and that's what they're known for now. But I'm guaranteed that they still hold on to their other business because it's like, why would we stop?
Well, I would imagine even in Japan they're tiny compared to Sony, because Sony.
Yeah, compared to Sony, perhaps. Yeah.
Like, but still, Sony's bigger than Microsoft. Is bigger than.
I don't know, Microsoft.
Microsoft doesn't do that much.
I mean, they still do a huge portion of the PC market.
Oh, they do like what, 90% of the PC market?
I feel like that's quite a bit.
Yeah, there are a lot of license
and they're not just software company; they're also a hardware company.
They don't do a whole lot of hardware. I guess they do cheap hardware like Logitech stuff.
Is Microsoft? Do they own Google, or is Google its own entity?
No, totally different thing. It's totally different entity.
It's just in search engine.
I'm pretty sure Sony's still a bigger company, like way bigger than Microsoft.
Probably, yeah. Just for the fact that they have a movie like division.
Yeah, pretty much.
That alone probably makes them like another third bigger than most companies.
So, I mean, you know, Sony has enough money in spades. But it is kind of shitty to the fans because Marvel has better art direction with their movies. So
currently, yeah. I'm waiting for Kevin Feige to like step down and then to have to bring someone else and to have the exact same amount of magic. I have a feeling that Phase 2 or whatever you want to call it. What is it? What's this phase now after Endgame?
Four, I believe.
Okay, whatever the next phase is after the Endgame part, where they're going to start the next 10-year cycle. I guarantee is not going to be as hype or as big as this one.
No, definitely not. Although, fuck, I can't wait for 20 years from now when they do the Endgame trilogy movie of the... Like, it's going to be the trilogy of the trilogy, if that makes sense. I can't really put this into words.
Like another Endgame movie?
Yeah, but because it's going to be the third cycle of Marvel movies, right? Okay. It's going to be
like the next 10-year franchise?
Yeah, so so after now, there's going to be 10 years of movies. Let's just pretend.
Probably, yeah, because it worked.
Yeah, and then that's going to have its like climactic ending, right? Okay, similar to the way Endgame ended this one.
Most likely.
And then there's going to be another 10 years after that.
Yeah.
And then that's going to have its own climactic ending. But that's going to be the third one, right? That's going to be the trilogy.
Oh, the trilogy of 10-year franchises?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's going to be fucking bold if they can actually keep it up. But honestly, I think with how Star Wars has been going and stuff like that, and if I'm right about the Phase 4, the next 10 years, if it ends up not being that profitable, I think they might have to look and be like, what are we going to do now? Because obviously we can't just keep like the idea of having a 10-year franchise is nice, but if nobody's seeing the movies to the same degree, then or they're not as popular. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass and they just make enough money. The fact that they're just putting these movies out,
they are, and they're making money now. But man, they killed their like most popular characters, with the
Yeah, but
exception of Thor, I suppose.
they're gonna probably make new ones, and there'll be a new generation of kids that'll be
Oh
into
yeah,
new
of course,
superheroes.
but it's not like Tony Stark is more popular than fuck, I forgot her name. The character who plays Ironheart. Do you know who that is?
No, not at all. In the comics, not at all.
Okay, Ironheart is the one who takes over after Tony Stark dies.
Oh, okay.
And she's like this like young black girl.
Okay.
And it was an SJW story.
They God damn, I can't remember the character. It isn't now my joke just fell flat on its face. Mm-hmm. The Batman.
Which one? Oh, Terry McGinnis or
no. They had a black guy who was
Oh, Batwing?
Is that his name? Okay, yeah, Batwing. Yeah, I thought that is what it was, but it sounded too generic.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like it's Lucius Fox's son who stumbles into his office and
something like that.
He's
yeah,
Batman. And they're like, "No, I guess you can be a Batman sidekick now because I guess you're in on it."
Why not? Yeah,
you'll be Iron Man Batman.
That's basically what he is.
Pretty much, except that he's not making most of the tech.
No,
made for him, but he's also really smart. So,
and he's supposed to be like Batman's representative in Africa too, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so
why not?
Marvel is like just doing. I don't actually hate this whole progressive thing that Marvel is doing. That like they're making all their new characters like people of minority or whatever. I think.
Or female leads or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, if as long as it isn't like as long as that's not the first step and that is just to supplement an already good movie.
Yeah, as long as they still have good writing and whatnot. I mean, like the female Thor comics were fucking terrible.
I never read them. I got back into comics for a little bit and then immediately dropped back out. And I was mostly into DC at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I find DC has better like single character stories. I might be wrong about that. People might disagree. Yeah, well, one-offs. I don't know if that's the right term.
Like Hush,
maybe.
Like
like Hush and stuff
Kingdom
like
Come.
that.
Yeah, like their special edition stuff is pretty good.
Yeah,
like the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
really good.
That's good.
Like I said, Kingdom Come is really good. It's kind of weird because when you read all the other comics, it's like taking a whole in the other direction of the same characters, but it's kind of interesting to play with that idea.
I really like fuck, I forgot what it's called now, and I really do like it. But they made an animated movie of it, and the movie was fucking terrible.
Flashpoint?
No, Flashpoint is fucking amazing.
I still think Flashpoint's really good.
Yeah, Flashpoint is probably, at least, I never read the comic for that one, but in terms of the animated movies, it's probably the best.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Even I watched that one. I'm not even into, like, watching a lot of animated movies or DC movies in general, so...
I've watched them all.
Yeah, I know you're super into that.
The one I really like was All-Star Superman. That's the one I really like. The comics were amazing.
Okay. Never read it again.
It's a bunch of short stories of Superman.
Okay.
That deals more with like personal character growth rather than like the actual like big bad boss kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But for some reason, and I don't know why, the animated movie just took the most boring stories from that comic.
Is it the parts that have the most action?
No, they didn't even do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just the really dull stories where almost nothing happens. He doesn't even grow that much as a character. Like,
that sucks.
Yeah. I don't know why they decided to go that route. It was a very weird decision they made.
Yeah, no, sometimes they miss. Yeah. Like the Killing Joke, I heard was not that great.
So I never read the comic for that. I watched the movie, and I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, see, again, that tells you enough. If you don't even have the hype of the original behind it to want you to hate it, and you still don't like it, then But then again, like you told me that Hush was pretty good.
I liked Hush better than the comic.
Yeah, that's what you say, and I want to watch it because I really do like Hush. Hush is what got me back into comics.
Oh, really?
I was working with Ivan, and he told me, he's like, "Oh, you like Batman?" And I hadn't read comics in years, years since I was like a teenager or even younger than that, like 10. And I was into Batman back then. I was into the Batman movies, but I was mostly into like Spiderman.
Yeah.
So, and then he told me about Hush, and then I'm like, oh man, Hush is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Because it has like so many of the villains.
So many villains.
Like the Hush storyline is pretty good. Like it's not just an ensemble for no reason. It's like there's actually a reason for all the garbage.
There's a reason.
Yeah. And then my favorite Riddler is in it. So like I can't not love the entire plot.
I hated how they made Riddler seem like a bitch in the comics.
Why?
Because he didn't do anything.
No, he's the mastermind of the whole thing.
Yeah, no, but like I guess you're right. It's kind of like Hush was the little bitch at the end.
Yeah, Hush gets played off as this fucking crazy mastermind. Like
Yeah.
he knows where all the chips is, and then you find out that he basically got a piece of paper from somebody else saying do this.
Yeah.
And then
this is who Batman is.
Yeah.
Do this. Batman's gonna react like this.
Yeah.
Get this villain.
Yeah, exactly. See, that doesn't require.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I hated how now I can't even remember my criticisms for the comic.
Well, you didn't like Two-Face. That was your main thing.
Two-Face.
That was the main thing I got from the difference between the movie and the comics that you didn't like was the fact that Two-Face
just flipped
when he
on
became
a dime.
Harvey Dent again.
Yeah.
Like fully Harvey Dent.
Mm-hmm.
The not having his fucking face burned made him whole again and not crazy.
Yeah, which I get works from like a symbolic point
It's also
of view.
a comic book.
It's
so,
in a
like,
comic book, but I don't know. I just didn't buy it. I'm just like, that's kind of a bullshit ending.
I don't know. It made sense to me as a plot point because the whole thing is that his deformity is bringing out the inner demon within him. But I will agree that if you watch the like animated cartoon, they do a much better job of before he becomes Two-Face showing you that there's like that dark seed inside of him and he's kind of fucked up already.
Yes.
And then the face thing really just makes him invest fully in being that two sides
That's
of himself,
exactly right, yeah.
Right? Which I can agree with you on that, but in regards to the comic, that's probably the weakest part, but I also don't give a shit about it because it's just to further the plot, and for me, in the comic, it works.
Well, in the comic, they take care of Hush being a little bitch and Two-Face. Sorry, not the comic. Sorry, in the animated movie, both those problems are dealt with.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Hush is not as much of a little bitch as he was in the comic, and Two-Face. I don't even remember if Two-Face shows up in the movie.
Well, you mentioned that he doesn't. Well, actually, no, you didn't actually mention that. You just said that you liked that how he dealt. That you didn't like how they dealt with it in the comic. Yeah. You liked it better how they did in the movie. So he obviously shows up at some point.
Yeah, maybe he does. I honestly don't remember if he does show up. Maybe by fix it, I meant they just didn't do that at all. I honestly don't remember.
Or he still flips the coin, but his face is fucked up, and he just decided to like, help Batman? Okay. Help Batman again? Nah, well, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then that's his portion of the movie.
Yeah, because like...
Maybe. I haven't seen it, so...
I like the Dark Knight Returns, how they dealt with Two-Face better. Was it Returns? Yeah, I think it's Dark Knight Returns.
With the Alan... Is it Alan Moore?
Yeah, I think it's Alan Moore. Because like they did a similar thing where they did like surgical reconstruction for Two-Face.
Okay.
To make him look whole. But
yeah,
but he's still fucking crazy. I was like,
okay.
That's how it should happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's already invested so much in that criminal life.
I guess.
It's like even if you fix your face and you're psychologically maybe repaired slightly, you still have all that guilt of what you've done. And
yeah, like everything's still with you, right?
I suppose it does make sense. But I'm just saying, as Hush goes, that might be the weakest part of it. And even then, I'm still like, I'm letting it slide easy. Like no fumbling, no shifting, no nothing. Just slide right nice and easy.
Just don't ask questions. Yeah. Just enjoy it.
All right. Yeah. Harvey Dent's back to Harvey Dent. Cool. He just helped out Batman, and now he's getting the fuck out of here. Great. Yeah. I like it. Because then every villain's like pretty much every villain is represented in Hush.
Not all of them, but a good portion. It's got a good portion.
I can't remember. Does Joker show up in it?
Yeah, he does, but briefly.
Very briefly, right?
I remember it's just like Hush tries to pin everything on the Joker, and so Batman like beats up the Joker. It's
right,
just, like,
a little bit.
It's in the back alley or something like that of the opera or whatever.
Yeah. God, it's been so long since I've read that. I gotta reread that shit.
Yeah, but it's basically like Joker is just like, I didn't actually do any of this. Yeah.
And he's just loving it that Batman's like trying to pin all this shit, but he didn't do shit. He's like, I didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
I do remember something like that.
Yeah. So but I mean, Hush was good. What was I gonna say? I was talking about the Sony Marvel thing.
Yeah.
The point what I was gonna bring is I liked the Venom movie.
Yeah. See, I okay. It wasn't amazing, and it's not a perfect movie by any standards, but it was entertaining enough.
Yeah.
Right? And it does have flaws, like legitimate flaws. But for all the people that just shit on it completely and say it's garbage just for the fact that it has flaws and that it's kind of trashy, fuck you. I got to see a Venom in a movie portrayed half decent, and I'm willing to take it. That's 1 out of 2. That's a success.
I mean, it's not like a spectacularly big movie.
No. It's not.
Aliens landing on Earth, and
I don't like. Again, I have legitimate problems where they made Venom a little bitch. Like they're just starting off the series with Venom is actually a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm sorry.
I like the underdog story, man.
Nah,
we've been
fuck
through
that,
this.
dude. I know, but nah. Venom's badass. Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't even know the rest of the symbiotes that they mentioned, with the exception of Carnage. But like, I've never.
Is it Rampage or
Rampage
Ravage?
or something. I feel like Ravage would be a better name. So
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that symbiote. I've never heard of him. I'm sure he exists.
I don't think he's in the comics.
No,
because
they just made him up.
Yeah, because they don't really reference, as far as I know, a lot of the symbiotes from the actual planet.
Yeah,
it's just a happenstance thing that Venom travels to Earth, and then he starts breeding and separating into all the other symbiotes.
That's how it is in the comics. Yeah, that's not how it is.
That's how, as much as I know about the comics. Maybe they go in deeper, but as far as I know, it's Venom shows up. He's not one of a kind. He's not special to any degree. It just happens that Venom is the one, and even then, he doesn't have a name of Venom before he comes. He chooses a name Venom. Yeah. As he becomes more invested in his hosts. Yeah, right?
With Spider-Man, I believe.
Well, not even then. He was harmonious with Spider-Man until Spider-Man told him to fuck off. And then when he got to Eddie Brock, that's when he really became Venom.
Yeah, that's right.
Because before it was a black suit Spider-Man.
Yeah, he didn't really have his own voice before. Yeah. He could slightly influence Peter, but Peter was strong enough to mostly resist it.
Yeah, he kind of gave into the power. But again, he wasn't so personified as he is with Eddie Brock, where he's like, it's two entities that are now working together to piss off Spider-Man, as opposed to before, where he was totally happy to sit in the back seat and let Spider-Man do all this crazy shit with extra power.
That's right. Yeah.
And kind of fuel the dark side and whatever. But yeah, I like that more, but that's just how it was presented originally. So
if I remember correctly, I might be bullshitting here, but I believe in the comics, the reason Venom travels to Earth, or at least that symbiote travels to Earth, is because the Silver Surfer chooses his planet to be eaten by Galactus or something like that.
That wouldn't be... It's probably true, because I literally have a comic where it's like it's a two-parter, and what's the catalyst for it? It's it's not Maximum Carnage, but it has kind of the same initial plot where it's like Carnage gets out of prison again. They basically, I think it starts with them and trying to inject something into Cletus Cassidy, and then it basically lets the symbiote out.
Okay, of course.
It always happens like that to some degree. And he fights with Spider-Man, and it's the whole usual song and dance, and then the Silver Surfer decides to show up, and Carnage, the symbiote, freaks the fuck out because it's remembering something about the Silver Surfer coming around and just busting ass into the symbiotes. Yep. So it freaks out and it actually just totally bails on Cletus Cassidy.
Oh my god!
And runs away, and then goes into the sewer. And Spider-Man's like, "What the fuck just happened?" The symbiote freaked the fuck out, and Cletus Cassidy is literally huddled in a corner crying himself.
Oh,
because the symbiote just ripped itself off of him, and he's so alone and. He's already psychologically fucked up. Yeah. Not that he's sympathetic, but he's just more fucked up now that he's missing his ego and power. Yeah. And then the symbiote takes over Silver Surfer.
Oh, I wonder if it actually just successfully takes over.
Yeah. The last frame of the first issue of the comic is the Silver Surfer with this Carnage symbiote completely covering him and the board, busting out from the sewers.
Wow, because he's a celestial entity. I wouldn't have think a symbiote could take over that. I mean, they have fucking trouble with Spider-Man.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what happens in the comic. The second part, I think they resolve it. I never actually got my hands on the second part, but I have the first one. It's pretty cool to see. The artwork for it is pretty dope. Okay. Of him as the Carnage Cosmic. I think that's what it was. I always thought it should have been the Cosmic Carnage.
Yeah, I feel like that. I was just about to mention Cosmic Carnage. But sounds better.
I think they specifically did that because it would be anybody could have thought of that.
So we're gonna just flip it around. Yeah. Carnage Cosmic. Oh man.
Let me see.
Fuck comic book fans though.
Yeah, this is the last page of the comic. It's the first image on Google if you do the Carnage Cosmic.
Oh man, that's beautiful. And he's got the board too.
That's what I'm saying. He's got the board and him covered, and he looks like Carnage. It's pretty fucking dope.
Fuck, Galactus is gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah, I mean he's always pissed, but yeah, more so.
He's just hungry, man. He's got them fucking hunger pains.
Fucking, but yeah, but that makes him a little bitch. That makes him hungry and an asshole and a dick. Is eating people?
Is Galactus technically considered a villain, or is he just an entity in the universe? I think it's is trying to survive.
You could label him as a villain, but I think it gets to that level of celestial being where it's you're asking him to kill himself by not doing what he's doing. Yeah. So is he a villain? I don't know. He kind of is because he's like destroying entire worlds and fucking with shit.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just imposing his will on the universe without really asking.
Yeah.
So he is technically a villain, but it's by nature of needing to keep himself alive to a certain degree.
Yeah. As long as we're talking about comic books and whatnot, can I get rid of my trigger early? I usually save it for the end, but
I mean, I've been throwing my triggers even before you fucking show up with yours. So if you want to throw it in now and it's relevant, why not?
Yeah,
ride that segue, dude.
My trigger here is people who complain about movies not staying true to the comics or even books. Fucking hate these people so much. I mean, sometimes
wait, there's certain categories because we're talking about like comic movies based on comics, like specific comics. But then are you talking about the MCU?
I'm specifically thinking of the MCU when I'm making this trigger, when I'm talking about this trigger. So, but I can imagine it can extend to other things.
Okay.
Yeah. But like you hear people all like complaining all online all the time that like a certain comic book movie was bad because it was nothing like the comic itself,
or it wasn't like faithful to more than 80% of it.
It wasn't faithful. Yeah, something like that. I think it's a bullshit argument because like I personally put the director's creative control above whatever the original story was, and like as an example, fucking Civil War comic was dog shit, but the movie was amazing. No, Civil War was trash.
No, it was awesome. What are you talking about? It had way more. Actually, I'd say the Civil War comic had more like interesting things that they were talking about and doing than the movie did. The movie just had better action and you were more invested.
No, like the comic didn't even make any sense. So an incident happened, and then Tony Stark is just like, I'm gonna take personal responsibility for these. No.
It's the same thing that happens in the Avengers. movies.
In the movies
they show a bunch of sad shit that happened.
No, in the movie it's the Avengers that fuck up.
No, not necessarily. All the things that happen.
Scarlet Witch blows up a building.
Yeah, okay.
Accidentally.
Okay, but that may be like one of the few things, but everything that they get accused for in the movie are all things that would have happened anyways if the Avengers never showed up anyway. Like the fucking giant city that gets lifted from Ultron.
Yes.
That would have happened anyways.
What are you talking about? No, wouldn't Tony made Ultron?
Okay, that's why he gets to feel guilty about it. But in the aspect that Ultron would have done this anyways, it would have happened anyways. Same thing with like, New York getting attacked. Like Loki was coming anyways, guys.
Okay,
the Avengers showed up to stop. True. That's bullshit.
Look,
you're accusing them
all I'm saying is, in the movie, there was more personal investment over the incidents that happened. In the comic book, it was a totally different team.
What are you talking about? There's that chick that comes up to Tony and totally rags on him for her son dying.
Yeah, but that compounds with everything else he's already fucked up on.
Yeah, then that's what I'm saying.
But in the comics, none of that happens. In the comics, it's purely...
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what happens in the comic. In the comic, he's on a press tour. They're part of the Avengers, and a woman comes up to him and basically blames him.
Oh, yeah, because that happens in the movie, too, so I thought you were talking about the movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, that specifically happens in the comic. Scene. But and it's much more visceral with the fact that a bunch of kids got killed.
Yes, but like I said, Tony had literally nothing to do with that incident she's talking about in the comics.
Yeah, but it makes him feel guilty because he should be there stopping it. That's what... It's the same... No. It's the same idea, just implemented differently. They want regulation in the movies because they want to have accountability.
Yes.
And he wants to, in the comics, as far as I can gather, the accountability aspect is more focused on, let's just make crime not happen. Let's Minority Report it.
Yes.
Right? Let's have more accountability in the sense that we're not just letting a bunch of supers running around doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. I mean, I think it's just a
essentially
different take on the same.
Essentially the goal is more or less the same.
Well, the comic one is much more vicious in the sense that they're locking people up in a fucking...
If you're a vigilante, it's against the law.
Yeah, you like lock you in a different dimension, whereas like Captain America's like, nah, I'm not for this. I'm out. See you later.
But look,
I mean, they try to arrest him, I guess, but they don't show you in the movies that anyone really like. They do at the end of the movie. They do show you the facility where they're locking people up.
Yes,
technically, but you don't really see it in the movie of anyone being truly held accountable for going against the government. It's just a plot point that's there to be an obstacle for Captain America to have. That's all it is. For me, it's too okay. Civil War was great as a movie itself, but this particular discussion topic that you're saying, like maybe not your entire idea that you have problems with people saying that they have problems with movies not being faithful, but in literally the specific talk of it about the incident of Civil War comic being shitty.
It is
just
shitty.
in general. It's not. It's good. It just has a different context that it's trying to touch on. I think that the Civil War, the movie, while it's a good movie by itself, totally misses the point of what Civil War was supposed to be talking about and doing. In the movie, it's just, you're not letting me help out my friend who's a murdering psychopath who's been manipulated by the fucking Russian government. So I'm going to say, fuck you, America. In the comic book, it's, man, there's an actual moral debate because these people are helping people, and we shouldn't be locking people up for other people's mistakes and making it a fucking police state.
Okay, that I'll agree with you on.
See what I mean?
But the instigating incident still had nothing to do with Tony in the comic book.
Yeah, but it couldn't have anything to do with Tony. If Tony went around and shot up a school, there'd be no fucking way for him to stand.
But I told you, in the movie, they have the Avengers themselves fucking up enough and actually accidentally killing people. Okay? In the comic books, none of that happens. It's purely 100%.
Yes, but
it's nothing to do with him.
It's about the community. He, as an Avenger, speaks for and is basically the representation of all superheroes, good or bad.
Tony is very narcissistic. He would not view himself as that. That's the other criticism.
What are you talking about? He doesn't think that he's the center of the entire universe when it comes to supers, and you're saying that about a person who thinks he's narcissistic?
No.
Of course. It's not even, fuck you. Captain America is the representation of all America, and Tony Stark's like, no, I'm the fucking American poster boy because I'm going to daddy government. I'm ratting everybody out. Even Captain America's like, nah, man, freedom, bro.
No, I don't think Tony would want to take responsibility for other people's actions.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like it's out of character.
Maybe not initially, but with the progression of how the movies go and how the comics go, eventually he gets a certain moral dilemma where he stops being so narcissistic and it's more of just like a show he puts on to be Tony Stark, the person. But realistically, down like to his actions, he always ends up choosing the action that puts him at the most disadvantage. He's one of the only superheroes to have his personal life exposed.
Yes.
He puts his
No, he's not. They're all like that. We've been through this. Like almost all Marvel characters are like that.
Really?
We've been through this, yeah. With the exception of Spiderman and Daredevil, they're almost all putting their personal lives on the line there.
Yeah, I guess people do reference Captain America, Steve Rogers. You're right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Falcon, Black Widow, although she doesn't have much of a personal life to begin with.
Yeah.
But
and Falcon's like Soldier Boy.
Yeah. And Hawkeye, like, it's just a Marvel.
Okay.
Like, a masked hero is a DC thing.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or at least having a separate personal life that people don't really know you.
Yeah. Which, I think the government would catch you, like, in an instant. Because, like, if you happen to have your phone with you whenever you go somewhere.
Yeah, but we're talking about time when they didn't have cell phones.
Okay, fair enough. But
and
I'm just saying
the idea that superheroes always have better technology than the government.
And then, I've always just thought about it. I'm just like, okay, if I had superpowers, how would I hide myself from the government? Because if I leave my phone home and don't bring it whenever an incident happens, that's suspicious as well. They're going to catch on to that too.
Yeah, but then they would have to know that it's you specifically with your phone. Like,
well, they would look for patterns, right? Like they would just
for all of people, everyone in America, or Canada, case?
Well, you can try. Let's say you're a superhero and you put a mask on.
Okay.
And whatever
that's
your
easy.
superpowers.
I do it anyways,
yeah.
but okay.
All right. And you leave your phone at home so that you can't be tracked to the incident, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, after you save, let's say, 50 people, they're gonna just notice there's this one device that just is always in this one place.
We're talking about a city full of people. That's 2.5 million people just in our lower mainland, and Canada is far less populated than America.
Patterns are pretty easy to. I think they were pretty easy to ascertain like that. Like you can see there's this one device that whenever you happen to save someone, this one device doesn't move anywhere.
But again, they'd have to have both pieces of information. They'd have to already kind of know who the superhero is and like go to track him. Because remember, technically, it's illegal to do surveillance on.
Yeah, no, they don't fucking care about that. We can throw that out the window.
I agree. That's just like a little step I want to bring up. Technically, your rights shouldn't be infringed on. So that creates a little bit of a barrier. But yes, I do agree. They probably would do it anyways if they were real about it. But you think that you would have a plan ahead of time for that, like 2 cell phones?
And then just bring one with you and
or before you start becoming a superhero, already have an established thing where you're at home every night from 12 to 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I could literally do that right now, and no one would know the difference if I'm home.
If you only went out at night, you might be able to get away with it. But I think if it's like a daytime kind of thing,
yeah,
your pattern could be easily distinguished from like everyone else.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But again, they'd have to know and specifically be like looking for me, because that means they have to sift through 2.5 million people to get to me to figure out that I'm not at home every night when Spider-Man's out.
You can probably easily put it into a computer to figure it out. You know, like you can just
I don't know about that.
Program.
People are pretty fucking stupid, Ken. I think you're giving them too much fucking leeway.
I think the government would figure it out right away.
I think the government's still too stupid to figure it out.
I mean, fucking, they figured it out with Batman.
Did
in the comics. Fucking, what's her name? Waller?
Oh, Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller pretty much knew who Batman was. Like,
she's like one
right
person, and she has
she
all of
works
Lex
for the
Luthor.
government.
She has all of Lex Luthor's money thrown at it.
She does, and more because she has government.
That's
funding
superhero
as well.
money.
Yeah.
That's like saying Tony Stark figured out something. He's like, yeah, he's Tony Stark. He figured out fucking time travel. Clap.
Congrats.
The only one guy who could possibly have figured it out, who has all the technology and resources possible, and he's fucking genius. Yeah, of course he figured out how to do time travel, and being the only one who could. And he was still missing a component from someone else's other technology that made it possible.
He did like 90% of it though, because like
they
were
math
trying
calculation.
Yeah,
but yeah,
because they were trying to figure it out, and they couldn't figure out what Tony had already solved like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
No, he gave them.
He gave it to them eventually because he was like on the fence about it.
They didn't do any of the testing in the movie. We're talking about the movie.
The
right?
movie, yeah.
They didn't figure out anything in the movie. They went to Tony, and then they went to Bruce Banner, and he was like, "I can't do anything. Yeah. You need Tony."
Yeah, Tony.
And
then they tried, but
and then he
failed.
basically worked on it at home.
Yeah.
And then he gave them the information. And then
he figured it out. Yeah, he figured out like earlier. He figured out before they did.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's not like they were already trying. They were basically had their thumbs twiddling, doing nothing.
They were trying. No, because like remember they sent the who did they send? Was it the Hulk? No, because the Hulk stayed back. They sent Ant-Man back a couple of times.
That was already when they had Tony Stark's code, because remember, then when they're doing those tests, Tony Stark shows up, and he already is like, oh, they turned him into a baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's mean they had already used Tony Stark's code, and he was going there to basically do a patch.
Was it? No, I thought... Okay, my understanding was that they were just... that they were themselves figuring it out, and that they were close, but they couldn't.
I'm pretty sure Bruce Banner as the Hulk Banner, basically said, I can't do it. That's not my type of science that I'm good at.
Yeah.
You need Tony's like mind to be able to figure out time travel bullshit. So this is the series of events that I remember from the movie. They go to Tony Stark. He tells you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
They go to Bruce Banner. They have a great time. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Oh, I can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Tony Stark does it at home by himself.
Yes.
Then he gives the code to the Avengers, but he's like, I'm not working with you. I'm just letting you guys do your own thing. Bruce Banner and the Ant-Man, they do the test where they turn him into a baby, old and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then Tony Stark shows up and he's like, no, my initial code was right for time travel, but the time is passing through his body and not having him pass through time.
Yeah.
Which is why he keeps getting old and young when they put him through. And that's when he shows up with the car.
Okay, there's one step there that I'm missing then.
Yeah. I think you're conflating the part where he shows up to help them as the time of him giving them the code initially.
That's right, yeah, that's what
I think that he'd already given them the initial code to do the time travel stuff, because that's how they were able to do the testing on him. Yeah, but it was like slightly off in his perception of how he was analyzing the code.
Yeah, that's
so he got time travel right, just in a very odd like angle of it, where it's like, no, we're gonna make people old. Yeah, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, now we can throw you through time now.
But yeah, back to my original trigger. So actually back to Civil War, because I not.
You want to go back to Civil War specifically?
Yeah. Okay. Also, the other thing that really bothered me, and I mean, fuck, this one really pissed me off. The whole Spider-Man thing
in Civil War,
in the comic book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
now like,
I don't know.
To be honest, if that happened in the movie, I would buy it better, because like in the comic books, at least at that time, I don't remember Spider-Man being in awe of Tony Stark as much. Like, in the movies, he is.
Yeah, I think that's what made it kind of like a shift, because it's like Tony Stark is going to Spider-Man and being like, I need you to do this for Daddy Government. And he's
for
like,
Daddy Government.
He had the fucking anime eyes at Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Whereas they gave more of a reason for Tony Stark and Spider-Man to have a history in Civil War.
Yeah, but
it's still the same scenario if you think about it, because it's in Civil War. He just shows up at Peter Parker's apartment and is like, I know you're Spider-Man.
Yes.
I need you to come help me with something.
Well,
it's literally the same thing. The only thing that's different is that Spider-Man in the movies at that point doesn't have the history that Spider-Man in the comics has to make it significant when Spider-Man comes out as Peter Parker in the comics, whereas in the movie he just
helps him fight.
He just helps him fight and comes out as Spider-Man. Spider-Man's in Marvel now.
Yeah, that's different, because like I guess in the movies they didn't demand that everyone has to be reveal their identity.
They did. That's part of the Registration Act.
In the movie?
Yeah.
It was slightly different.
Okay, they don't have. I don't think they had to publicly come out.
Yeah.
But they definitely had to register with the government
Something
as a superhero
like that,
and be like, I licensed member or whatever. But it's the same idea. But in the comics, I think Spider-Man revealing himself was more symbolic to say,
that's
look,
a poor way to phrase it.
We've got. I'm telling you, that's what happened. We've got Iron Man. He's back in the government. We've got all these people back in the government. Yeah. We don't have Captain America. Don't worry about it. We got him coming. But Spider-Man, everyone loves Spider-Man. Yeah. Just think about it.
Well, it has to be it had to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, next to Captain America. Because Captain America has the symbolism, but Spider-Man has the actual fan base.
Yes. Well, are we talking about the comic or the movie?
Comics.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it had to be Spider-Man because Spider-Man was a masked hero. Like, nobody knew who Spider-Man was. Like, that's part of it too. That's why it was so big. But that's also why I thought it was bullshit, because Spider-Man really fucking cares about his privacy.
Yeah, but now if everybody's out in the open, that means that there's an idea that Peter Parker's going to have security at his fucking house, so when the Green Goblin shows up, bang, bang, motherfuckers are sitting outside with SWAT guns.
Except that, it backfired on him almost immediately.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Thank God the Punisher was there.
That was hilarious. I love the fact that it happened. I mean, I like Spider-Man, but man, is that just dude, your entire comic persona has been lived by, I don't want anyone to know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
The minute that you come out for some other cause thinking that everything's going to be all right is the minute that you get slammed, because guess what? Now the bad guys have licenses too.
Yes. Oh, man.
And they're still bad guys.
The only part, they very much are. The only part of the comic book I really liked was when Punisher helped Spider-Man. I thought that was fucking cool. It was pretty good. Yeah.
It's like the thing with Hush, where it's like they brought everyone in for good reasons.
Yes.
Even when they brought in the villains to beat up Spider-Man, it's like, that's still a good reason to have those villains
I will agree with that too. Yeah, they brought everyone had a purpose to be there.
For mostly, except for Goliath, who was literally there just to get shot.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought Spider-Man was a little bit out of character. I thought Iron Man was out of character.
In the movie?
In the comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Captain America, I thought was done right in the comic.
Well, they just basically picked two of the biggest characters and then put them on opposite ends.
Yes.
Realistically, I think...
Well, they do that a lot.
I feel like Tony Stark literally would be the better fit for the guy to say, fuck you to the government. Because he has his own private organization. He's a narcissist, like you said. Like, why would he ever want to listen to Big Daddy government telling him what the fuck to do when he's got boatloads of money and giving them crazy tech? Whereas Captain America is supposed to be the fucking toe-lining, yes to the government type soldier boy.
That's what he perceives to be. But I don't know. I feel like Captain America very much is pro-freedom, you know?
Oh, no, I agree with that aspect too. I'm just saying, in a realistic idea, I think both those guys would be on the side of fuck you to the government.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
See, that's kind of the point where I
But who would be for the government?
Yeah.
But Nick Fury?
Oh, and I think
Nick Fury's not around. He's
fucking hiding. Was a difference as well. I think I might be wrong about this. I think in the movies they only had to let S.H.I.E.L.D. know, and in the comic books it was a government thing.
Yeah, it was literally an act in Congress of the Registration Act.
Yeah, so that's probably a key difference.
Again, because Civil War, again, everyone kind of thinks of it as an Avengers movie, but it's actually just a Captain America movie. And I know I'm saying something that's obvious to most people who's probably listening, or even you, but that's what Civil War in the comics had this big, you might not agree with the initial aspect of it, but it's dealing with something that's bigger, like a social aspect to all the superhero bullshit, right?
Yes.
Whereas in the movie, it's just a plot device to make Captain America say, fuck you to the government, I'm helping my friend.
Yes.
Literally, it could have been anything. He could have stubbed his fucking toe in the morning, been upset, and then been like, no, I'm helping Bucky, fuck you, government. Could have been the same bullshit without any of the guilt. You know what I mean? Because, realistically, in the movie, the guilt only works on some people. Most people that are for the government are still against the government in the heart. Black Widow lets fucking people get away in the movie. She's on the side of Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But then she ends up letting Captain America get away in the hangar.
I forgot about that part.
Even Iron Man, the entire movie is basically pleading with Captain America, don't do this. Just toe the line. Say yes to Daddy. And Captain America's like, nah, right? And so even Iron Man doesn't fucking believe in the thing wholeheartedly. He just wants to do it because it's the right thing to do, right?
Well,
the only
he's guilty about all the people he's killed.
Yeah, but realistically, if that wasn't there, he'd still say, I'm not for it. He just guilted into it, basically. And the only emotional investment he really has is when he finds out what happened with Bucky.
Yes. Well, you're talking about Captain America?
No.
Oh, because Bucky kills
but up until that point, I feel like Iron Man wasn't even 100% invested in the Registration Act. He's just doing it because he's like, we need accountability. It makes sense, right?
Yes.
He's talking himself into it. He wants Captain America to join to validate it, right? Because Captain America being his bro and being Captain America, a symbol.
Well, he's like the other leader. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Iron Man is the leader, but so is Captain America.
Exactly, yeah. They're leaders in both aspects, like both of them in different aspects or whatever you want to divide them into. But yeah, again, he needs Captain America for that validation. Like, it's almost irrelevant,
yes,
Bucky, for the most of the thing to Iron Man. He's just like, why are you being so difficult? Like, again, that's what I'm saying. Iron Man's not 100% sold on it in the movie. It's just a plot device, and that's what I have a problem with in regards to the movie.
I think
it's just a plot device.
I don't know. I feel like the movie is better about it because they make the reason he's doing it the Avengers' responsibility. It's like, Iron Man, like you said, created Ultron, which really fucked things up for everyone.
Yeah, but that's just an Iron Man problem.
Well, he's the one who's initiating it, so I feel like that's
an Iron Man problem.
That's an Avengers problem. Yeah.
I mean, maybe Bruce Banner helped him, but I mean, you can say the same thing with the first movie when they helped figure out the Tesseract.
Yes, but then and Scarlet Witch accidentally blowing up that building. But
I always forgot about that. To be perfectly honest, did she do that? Didn't she do that before she actually joined the Avengers?
No, I think it's they were stopping fucking what's his face, one of the human villains.
The dude with the metal mask.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah, forget him too.
Yeah,
he has a generic name ish. I said it, I'd be like, yeah, that's super.
I want to say like Crossbones or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But she was part of the Avengers, so Tony still takes responsibility for it. So the instigating incidents to me make more sense in the movies. Or in the movie.
Okay, maybe solely the instigating incident, but I still think. I think the comic's better.
I agree with your definition in regards, or not definition. Sorry, I agree with your reasoning for Captain America, where in the comics he's just he's not just trying to protect his friend. He's actually pro freedom. He's just like, fuck you.
I'm Captain America.
Yeah,
America.
I'm here for the people.
My fucking the First Amendment is written on the inside of my shield when I throw it at people.
That's right. It's right here. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, I agree with you that Captain America in the movies is probably more poorly played out. I think he's fine as a character and everything is fine in Civil War. I just think the fact that Civil War the comic was this huge thing. It was
It was so I don't know, time defining and massive, and it's still they have fucking Road to Civil War comics coming out every once in a while of some random character you've never heard of that was like, I sucked some guy's dick in a bathroom while Civil War was happening.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're like, okay, that was 10 pages, nice. But in the movie, it's just a plot point for Captain America to be like, nah, Bucky. But Bucky's my friend. Bucky's my friend, bro. I'm not gonna fucking sell out Bucky. No snitches.
Okay.
Right? That's my only problem.
Okay.
With that.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna get back to my trigger, which we.
Well, your trigger was that people have a problem with movies not following.
They use that as a reason to criticize a movie, and I think even if a movie is bad, even if it's bad, that's a shitty reason to criticize a movie. Okay.
What if they actively what about the Killing Joke thing where they change things and add things that are unnecessary, like Batman sleeping with Batgirl? That was
just shitty writing. But
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that would be valid in the sense that saying that the movie is shitty for not following what happened in the comic book.
This movie is shitty because they interjected shitty things into it.
But if they had followed it to a T as the comic,
it would have been better.
But then again, that's exactly against what your point is. Your point is that people are saying the movie not following the comic makes it shitty.
No, yeah, that's my problem. But no, if they had followed the comic, that would have been better. But them not following the comic is not the reason it was bad.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. That's true. Okay, fair enough.
It was bad because, some assholes
You're saying a movie that's actually good, legitimately good, but then gets shat on for not being faithful to the thing.
Yeah, well, like I said, I would even count if the movie's bad. I just don't think... I think if a movie is poorly written, it's poorly written. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
bad because it's poorly written, not it's bad because it didn't do something else, you know? Not it's bad because it didn't follow the original story.
I'm trying to get a grasp on what you're saying, but I don't know. It just sounds like the same thing to me. It sounds like an interpretation, someone's interpretation of the comic and how the movie should go. It should be 1-to-1. But anytime someone
I
deviates,
don't think it should be 1-to-1.
No, I agree. I agree. And it doesn't need to be. I'm just saying, in your argument for people's criticism of movies, they want it to be 1-to-1.
Yes.
But when they change something, that's the aspect that they go to say that they didn't follow the comic book.
Yes.
But by also changing something is also something you would say that you would like get a free pass for what doesn't make the movie shitty. But I keep bringing up The Killing Joke because it's the perfect example of them adding unnecessary shit.
That sex scene was fucking bullshit.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's literally what you're saying, because if they didn't do that and they actually followed the comic... I haven't actually read The Killing Joke, so to be fair, I don't know the details. Maybe there is some alluded to hanky-panky or some sort of romantic relationship, but I always felt like Batman was pretty good about not banging his fucking younger proteges.
Yeah, I think he's been quite good. I mean,
and he's got enough pussy thrown at him that is his age.
I mean, he stayed away from Catwoman for a long time, and she's constantly throwing pussy at him.
And Talia al Ghul.
Yeah, and Talia al Ghul. Yeah. So I mean, I think he can handle his protege,
So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like you're saying it's like a me situation where you're listening to me talk in circles. I feel like you're saying the exact same thing because I can't think of an example that the movie was both a good movie by itself, but also didn't follow the comics.
Well, for me, that would be Civil War, but you disagree with that.
But Civil War was a good movie.
Yeah.
But Civil War was... I agree that Civil War was a good... I'm not... Okay, what I am is I agree they're both good. You say that the comic's not as good.
I think the comic's garbage, man. Yeah. I hate the comic.
Yeah, so I guess you're on the other side of your own trigger argument, and I'm saying yes to both, so I'm not even in line with it. So I guess that's where we're at.
I mean, I like the Civil War movie, and I think it's better. I think it's good that it was nothing like... Well, I shouldn't say nothing.
I will say it's more poignant, and it's easier to grasp, but I think it's missing what made Civil War the comic so special and kind of important.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Civil War the comic was like 15 years ago.
Was it that? Yeah, I guess it was. I feel like
it's been 15 at least. Maybe just under 15. Let's say 10 at least. At least 10. And I feel like it's so impactful that they made a movie about it and used it as a major plot point for their 10-year franchise. Like the 3/4 mark of the franchise, we're going to make Iron Man and Captain America hate each other now for like almost no reason, and put a whole bunch of problems right before the end of the whole series. 8 years in out of 10. It's pretty bold, but it's not what made Civil War the comics so special and important.
Well, prepare for X-Men versus Avengers now that they have...
I'm waiting for Secret War, dude, because they've already started, kind of putting...
Oh, sorry, you said Secret War. I was thinking Secret Invasion.
Sorry, Secret Invasion. That's what I actually meant to say.
No, well, I mean, they kind of already ruined that, didn't they? Because, I haven't seen Captain Marvel, but, they already made the Skrulls.
They made the Skrulls, good guys, but I feel like... I don't know. I feel like they're going to pull it out of the vault eventually of something. Maybe they'll just choose a different shape-shifting race, and they'll just pull it out of their ass.
I would, it's kind of a shame because part of what made Secret Invasion so good was that at the beginning you didn't even know that the Skrulls existed, Yeah.
Or if you did, you didn't think that they were onto that scale.
Yes. And even they even mentioned the telepaths couldn't tell the difference, even when the Skrulls transformed, they thought exactly like the humans too.
To a point where they were almost indoctrinated.
Yeah. Except I don't know how they figured it out. Was it Dr. Doom that did something?
No, what they did is they basically had, as far as I know, they kind of just had the specimens on hand at all times. Okay. So they're basically able to take genetic samples directly from them that the Skrulls were able to basically reproduce their entire persona.
Okay.
But they were sleeper agents.
Yeah, pretty much.
To a certain degree, but they also operated as part of the Skrull Empire.
Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah. I mean,
but you're right. Really... I think they can't do it in comics. You're totally right for the fact that they did in Captain Marvel.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I'm pretty sure Avengers versus X-Men is going to be the next big one.
You think so?
Well, they just acquired X-Men.
Yeah, no,
right?
It's possible. Yeah, I just think coming out the gate with
I don't think they're going to come out the gate.
It's going to be a tricky dance.
I mean, even in the comic books, I don't think they meant to make the mutants the bad guys. It just kind of came off as that. Well, maybe Scott. They turned Scott into a bad guy big time.
I don't even remember that arc at all.
I vaguely remember parts of it, but it's something along the lines of Phoenix is going to come to Earth, and go into Jean Grey again, I believe.
Okay.
And so they have a couple options to deal with this. They know it's going to happen, and they don't want it to, because once Phoenix inhabits Jean Grey again,
it's almost
she goes,
unstoppable.
Yeah, berserk, right?
Yeah.
So, what is it? Wolverine and the Avengers want to kill Jean Grey, because they're like, once they kill her, the Phoenix goes away.
Yeah.
And the mutants are just like, no, we got to protect Jean Grey. She's
we're not selling out one of our own.
Yeah. So Tony at the beginning is just like, okay, let's try something different. I'm gonna just try to nuke the Phoenix in space before it comes to Earth, and that fails.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's like a fucking celestial power entity.
Yeah,
completely made out of energy.
Hey, to be fair, if one person could nuke it to death, it would probably be Tony Stark.
I don't know about if a nuke is gonna do it. Maybe like an electric net, then throw her into a sun, maybe, and maybe she'll just become part of the sun, but that's probably your best scenario. I don't think a nuke is gonna do it. I don't think a Hiroshima bomb is gonna fucking take out a fucking celestial fucking firebird that exists in space.
No, definitely. Well, it didn't.
Yeah. I could have told you that, Tony.
If I remember correctly, there was some other parts that people missed about it. So Wolverine... I think Wolverine is the one that goes to Tony Stark about it to say, hey, this is happening. We need a solution.
Yeah.
And Wolverine probably should have gone to, Scott's, Cyclops' future daughter was apparently in that timeline.
Okay.
And she knew how to control the Phoenix. And for some reason, nobody went to her to question her how to do it.
Okay.
It's just like a missed plot point or something like that.
I guess so. They just forgot about, like, what happened to fucking Hulk in Civil War? We shot him in space.
Yeah,
but no one knows.
And then they had to create a whole story because of that. Yeah.
World War Hulk. Oh man, that was so cool. I'm totally bought in now. Yeah, they totally shot Hulk into space.
Well, people like I never read World War Hulk, but
it was pretty cool.
Really like
I don't think I actually read it the full way, but I flipped through it at a friend's house, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's nice to see Hulk be Hulk and not have to feel bad.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Phoenix comes to Earth. I think I might be wrong about the state of events. I think Tony nukes it as it comes to Earth, something like that. Okay. And instead of just inhabiting Jean, it inhabits Scott, Jean, and 3 other mutants. I forgot which ones. Yeah. And then
like it fractures?
Yeah, like it fractures, but like their minds still get kind of messed up.
Okay.
But it has this effect where if one of the 5 dies, or gets like badly wounded, then its Phoenix power spreads to the remaining amount.
Oh, okay.
So eventually it gets to like 3, and then the 3 mutants start like being like, oh, they're going to try to get after my power. They're going to try to and they go kind of crazy.
Yeah, because the Phoenix power probably wants to keep itself alive.
Yeah. And then Scott eventually like just takes it from them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He ends up inhabiting the full Phoenix?
Yeah, he ends up inhabiting the full Phoenix. Do you know about what he does to Xavier?
No.
Sure, I'm just going to
go for it. I haven't read the comic, and I don't think I'm going to.
He kills Xavier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Xavier was just like, okay, Scott, you're going a little crazy here. You just tone it down a little bit, man. Yeah. Just tone down.
You're an 11. We need you at like a 7.5 at least.
You know, we're proud of you. You got the Phoenix. Congratulations. Here's a clap.
Yeah. Gene's safe.
Yeah, Gene's safe. Good job.
Yeah.
Just tone it down a little bit. Scott fucking kills him.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he just goes berserk. I don't remember how it ends. I just remember those plot points.
Okay.
Yeah. They managed to get out of him.
Do they kill Cyclops?
I don't think they do.
Damn.
But I think they do.
I feel like that's the whole entire setup of that. To get him as the host of the Phoenix is to kill Cyclops because everyone shits on Cyclops so much.
Everyone fucking does. Fucking it's mama's boy.
There's so few people you meet that are like, Cyclops is a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's like more of a fucking schoolboy fucking than
Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah. Except like Cyclops doesn't even have any scruples or anything. Like he'll I don't know. It seems like he'll beat people up to get his way if he wants to.
He's
you know,
much more unstable than Captain America.
Yeah, he's fairly unstable. Yeah, he's kind of an idiot. Anyways, that was a long rant that we just went on.
That's okay. That makes up for our fucking lost Avengers rant movie that we never got out.
It's true. Do you have anything you want to do? It's gonna take me a moment to get my game out. If you want.
Well, start rolling your shit out.
Okay.
So it's prepped, but yeah. So my music that's stuck in my head.
What is it this time?
It's gonna be pretty obvious. I mean, I went to go see it last night. It's MC Hammer.
Yeah, okay.
If you just want one song to go along with my usual theme of just whatever song stuck in my head, technically it's Too Legit to Quit, I keep listening to that.
I don't even know that one, but
I'll
all right.
I'll play it for you later. But Can't Touch This.
Yeah.
Fucking great song. Any of Hammer's songs, pretty fucking great. Just like fun.
Just gotta wear parachute pants.
You don't have to, but it helps.
It helps.
Or like the Mankini.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I call it a Mankini, but realistically, it's just like an 80s workout gear for men.
Yeah, kind of.
Realistically, that's what it is, but I call it a Mankini.
That's a good name. Well, when you mentioned it, I thought that you meant that, like the thing Borat wears.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah, but like...
But that's more revealing.
Like, yeah, like Borat wears it with like just skin, right? Like skin and then the stringy mankini. Yeah. Whereas the one you're talking about, like they're wearing also like a suit, it has like a skin tight suit, right?
It's like no, it's not a skin tight suit. It's got the straps.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a like coveralls.
Okay.
But it's like close, like tight to you.
Okay.
Shows a lot of chest.
All right.
Very stringy, like for the tops.
Yeah.
And then I think there's like a little bit of shorts to them.
Right. Okay.
But like it's one piece.
It is one piece.
But it's not like the Borat one where it's just covering his dick and then it's basically straps up to there.
Yeah.
And that's it.
God bless Sacha Baron Cohen.
But yeah, MC Hammer. I've been waiting literally. There's a little bit of a story to this if you want more time. But like I've been into MC Hammer since like I was a literal kid. Like I love MC Hammer. He's fucking great. There's a story that my mom always reminds me, or used to remind me a lot of, was that we would like. She used to work at Metrotown.
Okay, right. And, I remember you mentioning that.
And we were at a store one time, and I even remember the specific store this happened at. Mm-hmm. It's not the same store anymore, but it's the location of the stall or whatever you want to call it still there. Mm-hmm. MC Hammer would come on the radio because it's MC fucking Hammer in like '89 or whatever. It would have been like 90. It would have been like 94 at that point. But because I was young enough, because I was born in '89, but he was around at those times. Anyway. In the mall, the radio, it would come on the radio or something, and I would just bust into dancing to MC Hammer. I was so into MC Hammer even as a kid. So I've been literally waiting like 30 years since I was born, even before I knew about MC Hammer when I was like just being born.
Yeah.
I'm waiting 30 whole years to see Hammer live, and I finally have done it.
There we go. Congratulations.
And it was fucking amazing. So anybody, just go listen to Too Legit to Quit.
Okay, Too Legit to Quit.
If we're going to do a specific song, I'll do Too Legit to Quit.
Okay, all right.
That's literally the song that I've had stuck in my head. But Can't Touch This is a fucking classic as well.
Yeah.
It's still the tippy top.
All right, so it's time for my news game. It's
news?
Which one is fake news? Yeah. Where Shane and the audience gets to decide which one of these 4 articles is fake news.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling you have heard at least 2 of these, so you might have a leg up on this one.
All right.
So Duke Nukem voice actor can now officiate your wedding.
Okay.
All right. Elderly woman fell asleep in her parked car, woke up to find it missing.
Okay.
Yeah. Female astronaut accused of committing first crime in space.
Do they specify? Or is that just a headline?
That's just a headline.
Oh, okay. They don't specify? Okay.
What do you mean by specify?
Like, I was going to say, like, in the headline or in the article specifically, but it probably just a headline because it's what you're feeding me.
Yeah.
All right.
But, like, what do you want specified? That's what I'm...
What the crime was.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do specify in the article. And Denmark offers to buy the United States.
Oh, damn. Those are all actually pretty good choices.
I'm surprised you haven't heard some of these ones. Unless you have.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Okay, let's go for it one more time. Okay, the first one actually I think I do remember hearing about, but I'm not 100% if I'm just thinking of something else that's similar.
Okay.
That I'm not actually remembering it specifically as that, but go through it again.
Okay. Duke Nukem voice actor can now officiate your wedding.
Okay.
Elderly woman fell asleep in her parked car, woke up to find it missing.
Okay.
Female astronaut accused of committing first crime in space.
Mm-hmm.
And Denmark offers to buy the United States.
Okay. I think the first one is real.
Okay.
Like, because that's not too far-fetched. I mean, it's just a voice actor. He could probably do any type of work.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, definitely.
Especially when it's like officiating. That's what he does. He speaks. Who cares what he looks like?
I would definitely have him at my wedding.
Sure. Let's do it. Second one sounds like bullshit to me.
Okay.
Because it's so absurd. Like, I can't. I mean, I guess I could because
she's an elderly woman. She's not going to be that heavy.
Someone fucking okay. I guess that's a good point. But I was gonna say like to open up the car door, to fucking pull her out, put her on the sidewalk, and drive the car away, and like doesn't notice. Like maybe it's at night or something like that, but I have a hard time believing that actually happened.
Well, I mean, also think about it. Like, if she's elderly, she's more than likely to be in a deeper sleep than like.
You think she's on Ambien?
That might be it. Yeah.
She's gonna make a turkey and call someone a nigger.
That's how that works. Yeah.
All right. Again, it could be fake with the astronaut, but I feel like it could be real. It seems like it's real enough. Like it's not even an edge of reality thing where it's so absurd. It's like, yeah, she probably did some minor crime. Like maybe she stole something from the fucking space station, like a pen or something. But they're like, it's a jokey crime where it's like, oh, you stole a pen, so it's theft. So, but technically, it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, and then the last one is.
Denmark offers to buy the United States.
Okay, that sounds like it could be fake as like a trolley article, but at the same time, it like considering that Trump did the fucking trying to buy Denmark, it could be just like a jokey thing of Denmark to be like, sorry, technically he was trying to buy Iceland or Greenland, but it could be a funny thing of Denmark to be like, fine, we'll buy you then.
Yeah.
Since we're just buying, we're just offering to buy stuff, even though it's technically against international law to buy stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's like a provision. I don't know what the specific name of it is, but it's basically like you can't acquire other countries by commerce.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
They have to willingly want to join you based on a mutual agreement, like Hawaii joining the States and stuff like that, and Puerto Rico. But it can't be an economic I buy you. Or else
it can't be like one person's decision.
Then it would be just like China would just go around buying everybody up, or Russia, or whoever has the big money.
After all of this, they might as well just sell Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, someone should fucking offer to like keep Hong Kong safe because they're gonna fucking need it soon. But I'm sure China would be pissed off.
America could totally buy Hong Kong now because like all those protesters like waving American flags.
I don't think. Oh, maybe they could, but I think the price of Hong Kong is far out of fucking America's reach because it's such a fucking mecca of money.
Yeah,
so much fucking money for such a small little place. Just a single city is an entire country basically. It's ridiculous.
Did you hear that like leftist newspapers, I shouldn't say leftist, this would be more like extreme left newspapers, are saying that communist China is in the right and the protesters in Hong Kong are like bad, they're Nazis.
Ridiculous. Dude,
they're Nazis for like wanting their freedom.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
I know.
It's so extreme.
This is where we're at. Wanting freedom is Nazi like, okay?
I fucking love it when the left goes so far they fold in on themselves and become the things that they hate.
Yeah.
It's the most delicious type of hypocrisy. Okay. I'm going to wipe 1 and 4 off the board.
Okay.
I think those are fairly legitimate in the sense that it's like Denmark's throwing out something they know is a dumb joke.
Yes.
But it's still technically news because they still sent an official thing to Trump being like, we're going to buy you.
Yeah.
What do you think? $2? 3? 3.5? $3.50? And the first one, again, totally believable. So I'm going to wipe those 2 off the board off the rip.
Okay.
I want to say 2 is the fake news.
Okay.
Just because there's just too much in it. Right?
Okay.
There's just too much that needs to happen.
Too many steps.
It's too many things need to happen.
Okay.
Like, human incompetence is so far, but you're telling me that, like, one person was super incompetent, and then the people who perpetrated the crime of taking her car, or whoever took the car, was so perfect that they didn't wake her up the entire time? Yeah. I mean, come on. Come on, I mean, it's just something. It's just too many things need to go perfectly. You know what I mean?
You're probably like, you might be right, but all I'm saying is like, if it was gonna happen to somebody, I think an elderly woman is who it would happen.
Okay,
to.
Fair enough. That is the prime target for it to happen.
Yeah.
Fuck, because I feel like again, you're right. It could totally happen. I don't know.
And then
should I just be counterculture and should I just say 3, even though I don't actually believe it's fake news?
Or well, I mean, at this point, because you really don't know, or go with your gut.
No, my gut tells me that it's 2. The logical part, and my gut tells me it's 2 because it's too many things need to go right for it to go like perfectly for it to not happen, right? And it's also a joke. Fucking someone falls asleep in her parked car gets stolen. Like, and again though, I somewhere in the back of my mind I feel like I've heard this happen before. Okay. So it's telling me that it's real to a certain degree.
We need to get you like a wheel to spin.
Yeah, I know.
At some point, so in these situations where you can't make the decision, just leave it to chance.
Fucking flip a coin at that point. But Fuck it. I'm just gonna say 2. 2 is fake news.
Parked car?
Yeah.
Is that your final
answer? That's my final answer.
Okay, you're wrong.
Damn it.
It was the Denmark one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, that's so easy. It would be so simple to like make that reality.
Normally, I try to pick one that's a little bit more like
far-fetched.
Obvious. Yeah, a little bit more far-fetched. But literally this time, I could not find anything. Everything was ridiculously far-fetched. Yeah, so I had to get something that's like more boring and dull.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna go from top to bottom on my phone here.
Go for it.
So Duke Nukem voice actor can now officiate your wedding. I think that one just more or less speaks for itself.
Yeah. How much is his rates? Do they say in the article?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I should have looked
or
for that
anything specific. That would be probably the most interesting part of that.
I decided to become an ordained for the same reason a lot of people do. I have a dear friend who asked me to officiate his wedding, not as Duke Nukem. St. John said in an email.
Okay.
Oh, that's a shame.
So it's not even like he got hired to do Duke Nukem. It's just the fact that he's a voice actor for Duke Nukem. He's got a good voice, yeah. And he could do it. Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it'll be a one-and-one deal. After the announcement on Twitter, St. John said he received numerous inquiries about whether he'll be performing ceremonies in the Duke voice. So people asked him about it. Yeah. What is it? What would he say? Something like, you guys are gonna get married or chew gum, and I'm fresh out of gum, something like that.
No, the quote is, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Yeah.
So it's more like, I'm trying to see if I can do one real quick.
Yeah, so try to phrase it in like marriage. I pronounce you man and wife or chew bubble gum. I don't know.
I'm here to marry 2 people and chew bubble gum, but I'm all out of gum.
That's actually a lot better. Yeah,
it's not
as good.
I want to think of something more clever than that, but I think that's about as close as I'm gonna get to this right this second.
I feel like if you said it in his voice, it'd be pretty good.
I don't think in my head it'll sound right, but it won't sound good on. I gave you an oh yeah. That's about as much as you're gonna get out of me.
Given that interest, of course I am. St. John said, we even have one confirmed to take place next February during my cruise convention. Okay, so he's going to be on a cruise convention. I guess that just means a convention.
Okay. On a cruise.
Yeah. So, and then he's gonna be officiating a marriage as the Duke.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, fuck. Good for that guy, man.
This might start a whole nother of voice actors having another career path after that.
Yeah, fuck, they should. Especially his. His is super iconic. Okay, so next one is elderly woman fell asleep in her parked car, woke to find it missing.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard to steer you away from that. Police in New Jersey say a possible carjacker apparently removed a sleeping 80-year-old woman from her parked car before stealing the vehicle and leaving her in the driveway. I just wonder what, bystanders would have thought, you know? What would you say if you saw somebody taking an elderly woman out of their car and putting her on the driveway?
I don't know, man. That's super tricky because you don't know the situation, so it might just be, her family.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume it was, she was an old black lady and a bunch of white dudes were doing it and people are going to be like, that's fucked up. But did
you think that she might have been black? I don't know.
I don't know. It could be any type of race.
That's you know what?
Realistically.
If she was black, they would have mentioned it because that's extra,
it's
little
true,
clickbaity.
SJW.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I saw somebody taking an elderly woman out of a parked car, I'd be fine with it. But then as soon as they put her on the
you have to stick around for the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
That's asking a lot of a normal person. It's either you act and be like, that's odd that you're pulling a person out of a car.
Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
That's exactly.
I figured the article was in the title.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you're right. So did you know 100% of space crimes are committed by women?
Yeah. Because it's the article literally says the first crime in space committed by a woman.
100%, man.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it is a statistic.
Yeah. I clicked on the wrong one by accident. I don't want to go into too much detail about this because I did read it, or I read part of it earlier, but it's something like while she was on the space station, she hacked into her, so she's a lesbian, she hacked into her ex-wife's bank account or something like that and stole the money.
See, I thought mine was funnier.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's such a mundane crime or something stupid, but nope, it's a
This is
legitimate crime.
Yeah.
Why do it from space?
I think that's, yeah, no, I don't
It's
know.
a direct connection. How many people are in space?
Yeah, I feel like it's the fastest point to do it.
Oh, okay, that might be it, if it's for the connection speed.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like there's only how many people with computers in space that are using it. It's like if the government can track, like if an ISP can track my ongoings on a computer, why couldn't the government do it for their the space station they paid for, with the internet they paid for, with the computers they paid for? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's a little too tight of being watched to be like, I'm going to go hack someone from a government computer.
Yeah, but like, I guess you're in space, right? So they're not going to be, like, they can track you, but they're not trying to, right? Like, they're
but
just...
it's so easy. It's like there's so little information. What are they going to be looking at? You're searching up stuff on the internet. If it's not work related...
Well, I mean, that's probably why she got caught, right?
Yeah, probably. That's true.
Yeah. Also, I'm not certain about this, but I heard it somewhere else. I just haven't been able to verify it.
Okay.
But this might have been the first mission where they only sent women to space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So...
Good job.
Yeah. She kind of fucked it up for everyone. Well,
Yeah.
she fucked it up for women, so, kudos to her. But yeah, what do you think about that hacking to your ex's account?
Well, I mean, it's illegal
money?
and it's not great. It's super vindictive bitch move, even if it was done by a man.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%. I feel like there's better things to be doing in space. Research. I guess it's not as much fun.
I mean, I guess it's just the idea that it was the perfect crime in the perfect place. But I mean, honestly, that would be the furthest I would want to be, is on a government-controlled space station, on a government-controlled network, government-controlled computers, doing it. Like, you'd have a better chance doing it at a fucking Starbucks.
Do you think that they're going to be able to try her? Because she technically wasn't in the States. Like, she technically wasn't anywhere.
Well, but she was using government property, so she'll probably just get her on something like that.
Yeah, maybe. And, like, she was on what I imagine, because it was NASA, so maybe, like, a U.S. space station.
Also, she's working.
Yeah.
So she's doing it from work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're on call when you're in space.
But I feel like
you're in space, you're on the job. You know what I mean? Your mission is off when you're on the ground.
But I can definitely see a lawyer just,
trying to argue it, I suppose. But
it's just like, she wasn't on your land when she did it, so you can't legally try her for it,
Maybe under the UN?
Yeah, the UN. Does the UN go after specific people, though?
No, but if you think about it, if a government can't try you for a crime and it's still a crime, it's like, think about it this way. If you murder somebody in space, who's going to hold you accountable?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we're trying to see.
I feel like it's going to be the obvious answer is the direct government that you work for, because you're a citizen of that government to be tried by those laws.
I mean, I agree with that, right? And I also think that a space station itself might technically also act like a zone of embassy.
Yeah.
Or embassy.
Yeah.
Embassy. Yeah. So,
I feel like it's just the simplest thing is that whoever's country she's from is going to take responsibility for them, because they are a citizen of that country and they are representing that country by being on the space station, even as part of a multicultural force.
But like, if you, although you're right that she was on duty when this was happening, so maybe they can even get her on that. But like, I believe if you, like, let's say you travel to international waters on a U.S. ship and you commit a crime, I'm fairly certain they cannot prosecute you for that crime.
But you're on a U.S. owned vehicle,
vessel.
Like, especially when it's like a government thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're on a ship that is owned by the government.
States.
Yeah, exactly. It's very specific. It's not like fucking open waters, fucking pirating shit. It's like, no, you're under our ward, so we take responsibility for it.
But I believe that crime depends on like the actual land that you're standing on, right? Like,
I guess in most
it's
generic,
definitely a nuanced area.
But I feel like there's times where people don't get tried for crimes because they commit crimes in different countries and
then they flee.
Yeah, exactly, and they aren't held accountable to the laws that either that they were from, like, 'cause they don't get tried there, and they don't get tried in the place because they flee back to their country.
And then,
I feel like that has happened.
I mean, Julian Assange did that.
Yeah, exactly. So in that same, I don't know, but that does kind of make the same thing. But again, it's a government-owned property.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're going to be court-martialed, like as if you were on a vessel, like a military vessel.
Yes.
Even if you're in water, open water, and nobody owns the water in that particular area. I feel like if you commit a crime, you're still committing a crime. So the organization that you're a part of has to take responsibility for it, which means that you're going to be tried by that organization.
Yes.
So if she's an American astronaut, she'll be tried by the American government.
Astronaut on an American station.
Partially owned, at least.
Well, yeah, partially owned.
So
I think it's completely owned by the Americans, but it's assembled by various countries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always imagined that it was the International Space Station. Everybody had a piece of it.
Yeah, I think everyone does have a piece of it, but as far as I'm aware, NASA owns it, and NASA is a branch of the U.S. government.
Yeah, okay, specifically. Okay.
Yeah. So, there we go.
Interesting.
But it's definitely going to have a lot of red tape around that one.
Yeah. I feel like the easiest scenario is that wherever country she's from, I'm assuming the U.S., they're just going to be like, take responsibility for it, because it looks better for them to take responsibility for it than to like throw their hands up in the air.
And it's easier, and I would argue that it's in the spirit of whatever laws that were originally made.
Yeah.
Like,
it's still a crime. It literally is still a crime. Just because you do it in a place where there is no law does not mean it's still not a crime.
That's right. Yeah.
You know? Murder is still murder, no matter where you do it.
I mean, yeah, and you know what? Now that I think about it, like, generals or military people can be tried for war crimes for things they have done on other countries.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why not use that same kind of...
I feel like it's because you're working for somebody, so they take direct responsibility for it.
Yeah.
So, you know if I do something illegal at my company, my company gets sued. Probably don't get sued. I probably just get fired.
You get fired.
Exactly.
Yeah. And depending on how illegal, it'll probably go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Denmark offers to buy the U.S.,
which apparently is fake, even though totally plausible.
Totally plausible.
As a fuck you to Trump.
This is from the New Yorker satirical page. I forgot what it's called. Whatever.
Wait, it's from an actual newspaper?
Yeah, well, the New Yorker has a satirical column.
Yeah, like an editorial.
Yeah, something like that. So that's from what this is.
That's like one. Ken, that's like one. Oh, I guess it's still technically fake. I was going to give you shit. I'm like, that's one fake article. That's not even from like a fake news site or anything like that. Oh, yeah. That's just like a comic strip, basically, you're talking about. But all right, fine. Yeah. Technically, is still fake news. It's still fake news. Fair enough.
After rebuffing Donald J. Trump's hypothetical proposal to purchase Greenland, the government of Denmark has announced that it would be interested in buying the United States instead.
Again, that would be so easy to be real. It's so close.
Get browning points from people, man. Oh, ha, ha, ha. I'm countering Trump's proposal.
Oh, yeah. People eat that shit up. You're right.
Yeah. As we have stated, Greenland is not for sale, a spokesperson for the Danish government said on Friday. Well, that part is true.
Okay.
We have noted, however, that the Trump regime, pretty much everything in the United States, including its government, has most definitely been for sale. Okay, that's not true at all. Denmark would be interested in purchasing the United States in its entirety, with the exception of its government, the spokesperson said. So I guess just the land and the buildings and
infrastructure,
yeah, just everything except the
people.
Government.
Did you see that one thing that Joe Rogan was talking about? It was clipped off of his show, but he was saying that Donald Trump's actually kind of funny, like regardless of what his policies and stuff like that. But he's like his sense of humor. He's pretty funny. And he had a picture that was Donald Trump's Twitter, and he said, "I promise not to do this to you, Greenland." And it was a picture of Greenland with a giant gold Trump Tower on it.
I've not seen that.
You were saying that was like that's so
he has
funny.
a good sense of humor.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's still a person. He just might have shitty ideological views when it comes to running the government. But, and like not always the best like wholesome values that goes along with America. No, but you can still be funny.
Yeah, he can still be funny.
He can still be funny, at least in moments.
His son is a fucking weeb.
Yeah,
fucking loves that.
It's so silly.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck Don Jr.
Well, not that one.
Which one?
Baron.
There's a one called Baron?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Am I wrong about this? Because I'm pretty sure it's his youngest son is named Barron Trump.
Oh, the one he had with Melania? Like the really young one?
Yeah, did he have that with Melania?
That's
I didn't
Melania's
think he
son.
did. Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming because he's always with her.
Okay, I'm just gonna Google this. Maybe I have this wrong because you know what? It is such a stereotypically evil name.
Don Jr. makes sense because his name is Donald.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense, right? And it might just be that he named his son Donald as well.
Well, I googled Barron Trump and it came with this image, which I do love the meme that spawned from this image. Do you know the meme that came from this image?
No.
The kid's shirt. It says "The Expert."
Okay.
Yeah, and so people would just make jokes like, I'm sure you've heard this joke, but just in reference to him, it's funnier. I completed this puzzle in only 6 months, and the person's proud of it, and then, somebody else questions him, like, why are you proud that you completed a puzzle in 6 months? And he's just like, because it says on the box 1 to 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, so that it says that in text with Barron Trump with his shirt, "The Expert" on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, actually. There was something that you commented on Facebook that was a Simpsons thing with the tree with carvings in it.
Oh,
and then I commented to you being like, I don't get it. Like, am I missing something?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone liked my comment, but nobody responded to tell me what I was missing or what I was like misinterpreting or whatever.
What was it? Something like it was one of the producer's initials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I was racking my brain. I was trying to like think of things, but I don't know a lot of like the really deep Simpsons lore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just went right over my head.
Yeah.
And I asked you like, am I missing something? And nobody responded to me. Everyone was just liking my comment, like 2 people or whatever, and then just moved on with their lives. It was so fucking like random. Like, where's my answer? How come no one's fucking telling me shit?
Simpsons loves doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but that's because they need to inject like things to keep their like the writers and animators interested because they're just doing a job.
Well, it's the writers who do it, right? Like
the
writers will say, make sure on the tree it says these letters, right?
Suppose,
the animators may not even know who the writers actually are, but
that
they'll
might
just
be true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Did you see the AO or the squad beating up Trump in The Simpsons?
No.
Oh, so
I barely watched Simpsons all my life, even the old stuff.
Okay, fair enough. I won't go into detail about it, but like it's basically, I assume you know what I mean when I say the squad.
Yes, that part I got.
So it's a clip of an episode. I have not seen the episode. I've only seen the clip.
All right.
Of where the squad goes to Donald Trump and he basically like runs like a baby away from them.
Oh, okay.
And then it ends with this final scene where like they have him pinned on the ground and he's like looking up at them scared for his life. That sort of thing is going on.
Realistically, they should just go at him with like crowbars and bats, and every time they hit him, it just bends.
I'm trying to figure out the reference here.
Because they can't do anything to him.
Oh, yeah, okay,
They throw the heaviest fucking artillery at him, call him a racist, and it just, bing, pops off of him. Nothing happens. No one gives a shit anymore.
No one fucking cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be more realistic, but I'm sure that it did really well, having him get beat up.
Yeah. Well, I said beat up, but I don't actually think they laid a finger on him. I just said that just to keep it short.
Like that he was cowering.
Yeah, like he was cowering beneath them, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still symbolic to a certain degree. Yeah. So.
Well, it got like, mind you, my group, the Facebook groups I'm part of are more like shit posting groups.
Yeah.
So I only saw it getting negative reactions.
Okay.
But I'm sure there was a lot of people that's just like, yeah, go Simpsons.
Yeah.
Showing it to the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know? Fuck. Ooh. Did you have something?
I did, sort of. There's I don't know if I've told you, but I have Gary Chalk, the voice actor, on my Facebook.
Optimus Prime, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Or Optimus Primal, but he also does Optimus Prime in the Gen 1, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But he reposted a memory of his from like 2013 talking about voice acting. I thought it was relevant to us podcasting. Okay. And he said, if you put your finger in front of your mouth when voicing explosives, IEPs, and it says BS, but he does typos, so. Okay. I think what he means is IPs and Bs.
Yes,
you won't pop on the mic.
That's pretty brilliant. Like I'm trying to do it now, and yeah, that kind of just blocks the air.
I'm not really sure why I, E, P. Oh, hey, the P. That actually I can understand that. B.
You know, when I'm editing, I can.
I know I pop a lot. Yeah. I know I click and pop a lot when I talk.
So like I can just see it like when it's about to happen. Like, oh, he said something with a P there.
Yeah. See, I know that I do that sometimes because I can hear myself whistling sometimes.
Oh.
Like, or the sound comes like more viscerally when I'm talking.
Okay.
So I can tell, like, it's not just me flubbing my words. It's literally those ones are forcing me to make sounds that are more aggressive, I guess.
Yeah.
On
I don't
the
know.
mic.
I mean, I do it too, but it seems to be more pronounced when you do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the way I talk. But I thought that was interesting.
That's good advice. We should get you like a helmet that just puts something in front of your face.
I just do the entire podcast like this so uncomfortably.
Yeah. He has the shushing gesture.
Yeah. Well, I figure that's what he means by putting a finger in front of your mouth. Unless he means like a little bit further away.
I think it's a little bit further. You can do it a little bit further. The whole point is that it blocks the air. P.
Yeah, I guess P. Yeah, that's right, because I'm blowing a whole bunch. I is a weird one.
I didn't think I did create explosives.
I and E, I feel like I'm sucking in more, like because my mouth keeps going out.
Yeah, usually it's B and P as far as I can tell.
Yeah, but I guess
especially the P.
I mean, he is a renowned voice actor, so he would probably know better than I do.
And definitely better than I do. Good advice, Gary Chalk. Is that the words of wisdom for the day, Gary Chalk?
I mean, give me a freebie, yeah, I'll take it.
We'll put him in as a guest star in the fucking description of the episode.
Yeah, it's like when you just like shout out to something like hyper specific someone said, but just so you can get their tag.
Yes.
In your fucking post. One thing I do want to talk about, because I don't know if you're into it or not, but are you excited at all for Borderlands coming out? It's like in a couple weeks.
September 13th. I'm looking forward to Borderlands. I don't know if it's going to be a day one buy for me, but I'm definitely going to get it.
I already have it pre-ordered, so I definitely am getting it. I think they said that they're doing cross-plat, right?
Are they? Yeah, Borderlands could do it, so why not?
Let me take a look online real quick.
I fucking love Borderlands. It's like just a fucking super open world game.
I'm pretty hyped for the new one coming out. There will not be cross-play functionality at launch.
Oh, at launch.
Work with our partners to create a positive cross-play experience as soon as practicable.
Practicable? Crossplay. I'm trying to see. Oh, practicable. Practicable. I can't say that word for some reason. I know the word, but it's practicable. Somebody's gonna listen to this and be like, "We're fucking retards."
Probably. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even want to try.
The word is practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, so no, not right away, at least.
Oh, well,
so I have less of a reason to try to get you to buy it right away.
It's going to be on the Epic Store first, right? On PC, I believe.
Yeah, but I'm on fucking consoles.
On
Who gives a fuck about?
I'm gonna actually release that trigger too.
What?
The whole everyone getting mad at the Epic Store.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of shitty what they're doing with some games. Like some games that were already listed as coming to Steam and shit like that. I feel like that's kind of bullshit.
That's not their fault though. That's the developer's fault. Yeah, like, but I'm not gonna blame Epic on developers.
But you know that their money had a major influence on.
Yeah, no,
that's
their
still
money
part of it. They are doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
like,
the money had 100% of the influence.
Yeah, but if I pay someone to come bust your knees up, it's still like me doing it.
Yeah, but that means that's illegal. Like,
yeah, I know, but I'm saying they still did a business transaction knowing full well that they were asking for something that the developer can't actually do if they were to honor the idea of what they were going to release originally.
I'm not saying that Epic isn't even scummy. I think is a strong word, but is seedy for like saying you have to give us a timed exclusive. But they are a business.
I'm fine with the timed exclusive idea. I just don't think it's great for the things that were already announced for PC.
That's not Epic's fault.
But it is kind of, because if they weren't throwing their money around so hard and asking for such strict demands, because literally all it is that Steam is an open platform for you to release, and they get a little bit of a cut when you release, and they're saying, fuck you, here's a bunch of money only on Epic.
Yes.
Even for a timed exclusive, but just for that idea. That alone is a power move that fucks over the consumer on the developers benefit, and I just think that as an action is bullshit, and I'm holding accountable the person who's making it. It's the Sony thing.
No, it isn't. Totally different.
They're throwing their money around. They're like, we want 50% of the profit.
Yeah, and they got fucked over because of it.
Only because Sony said no.
Yeah, and likewise, if developers, which some have, said no to Epic, then Epic would get fucked over.
No, developers are the ones that get fucked over because they're missing out on the money.
Then they go to Sony.
Yeah,
or not Sony. Fuck, Steam.
Yeah, but then they're missing out on money. They're fucking themselves over.
No, it's not missing out on money because they weren't going to do it.
No, it's a power move, dude. Epic is putting people in a fucking point where they're making a deal that they can't refuse. And the people that get fucked over are the people that realistically are going to be buying the game. That's the problem.
That's not Epic's fault. Like Epic has to try to do something to make its way into the market. Like what?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm fine with them doing the Times exclusive. I'm saying specifically for the games that are already on Steam, like listed as coming to Steam.
Yeah,
right. That's a fucking thing where they could avoid it by saying, okay, we're going to give you this money and we're going to honor your agreement with Steam, right?
I mean, but then they wouldn't be making a business decision. Like their whole point is to make.
But that's the thing, that they are solely thinking of themselves and their profit margin with no like respect for what's been told to the consumer. The consumer expects a certain product. If I say the Borderlands 3 is coming out on September 13th, but instead I give you Duke Nukem Forever 2, you'd be fucking pissed the fuck off.
At the developers.
Yeah, but
not at Epic. I'm not blaming Epic for something.
I'm blaming Epic.
The developers are being scummy.
Because without their money influence and them demanding those things, that wouldn't be a factor.
No.
If it was just an option for people to say that they could be on Epic, but Epic is literally throwing money at people to make it so that it's impossible for them to say no.
They can still say no,
No, because it's so unrealistic to say an indie developer or Shenmue that's blow all their fucking money that they got from backers, which that's really fucked up.
Yeah, no.
That's really fucked up.
Like that dev was a fucking asshole for doing that.
But it's impossible to say no to that. It would be the same thing if we said we're going to be on Steam and then Epic came and is like, no, we want your podcast for just Epic, which I know is unrealistic. It would still be a dick move because how would we be able to say no as such a small group?
There was I wish I remember the name, but there was an indie title going to be released recently, where it's just one guy who made the entire thing. He did contract out some of the work.
I think it's him and his wife. You're talking about that, like it's kind of like Harvest Moon, but with 3D
that's
models?
exactly yeah. And Epic gave him this deal that he apparently couldn't refuse.
I'm telling you,
and he refused it.
No, he didn't.
No,
maybe I'm hearing about a new one.
Okay, so maybe I'm hearing about a different one. But
one I heard of. But the news that I heard was from a couple weeks ago to a month ago, where it was an indie development team. It was like a husband and wife from a different country, and they made this game. They had a good following as an indie developer and a backing of like people directly funding them. And then they're going to release soon, let's say in the next month or so, and they've just decided they're going to the Epic Game Store exclusively.
Yes.
Completely fucking all the people who initially wanted it for Steam.
Yes. Was that the one that was a Kickstarter as well?
I believe so, but I also did get like a thing from Inside Gaming, like an update from YouTube, saying that there was an indie developer that gave the finger to Epic. So that might be what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
And it might be these people, because they got so much flack for doing that, for going straight to the Epic Store and not doing Steam at all, that maybe that they were the ones who also gave the finger, and it's the whole same story just has fully played out. And
you also have to like remember, like Epic not only gives them a better deal, they also give them a much more fair value.
Again, I'm totally
sales.
Fine with all those business practices. I just think that if it's listed as saying it's going to be in a certain place already, and then you want to have it exclusive, that's a dick move.
No. Okay, it's not Epic's problem. So you're saying that if, like, let's say...
I'm trying to think of a good example of this, too, but I'm not finding a good one.
I hate using analogies, but I'm going to use one. But let's say, like, somebody's wife wants to sleep with you, okay?
Okay, this is extrapolating farther than I expected, okay.
It's the wife that's at fault, not your fault for having sex with her.
But if it's consensual with that husband and wife, don't you think the husband has a part in it that it plays very importantly?
Yeah, if it's consensual.
Yeah,
yes,
so then wouldn't you hold them both accountable?
But that's not the same situation.
Wouldn't you both hold them accountable for theoretical infidelity?
Well, the situation...
Because they're both... one is saying yes, and the other is doing it and saying yes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, but the situation you're talking about is if Epic and Steam both agreed. We're not talking about that.
No. I'm not saying that they need to agree. I'm saying that... the Epic needs to honor the previous agreement to the consumer.
Epic did not make that agreement.
Yeah,
that's the developer.
But that's what I'm saying. They are buying a product that has made, like, for example, this is what I'm thinking. They are buying a product, right? That product was promised to a certain consumer base, right? Regardless of whether or not you want to download the Epic Store or just have Steam, that's irrelevant. It's a consumer base. It says, I was told I can buy Coca-Cola at these stores, at McDonald's. Perfect,
yes,
right?
Okay.
Right? But then, I don't know who's a good competitor to McDonald's. Let's say Burger King. Yeah. Burger King comes in with big dick money out of nowhere. Elon Musk buys fucking Burger King and says, fuck you to McDonald's. You want to go to McDonald's to get your delicious Coke that's specifically served at McDonald's, right? It's not at McDonald's anymore. Guess what? It's only on the Epic Game Store. Sorry. No, not the Epic Game Store. Burger King.
Yeah, there we go.
It's only at Burger King. You now have to, that same sweet, delicious taste. You can only get it at Burger King. How many Burger King locations are convenient for you? How many times are you going to go to Burger King for their non-existent dollar drink days during summer?
Well, fuck you, Coke.
You say fuck you to Coke?
Yeah. You
would say fuck you to Coke for taking a whole bunch of money that they can't say no to.
After promising me that you're going to be at McDonald's and then switching to Burger King, fuck you, Coke.
I would say the more fair thing is to hold them both accountable, because the Coke is put in a position where, again, the exact same argument that you're making for the Epic Game Store, I'm making kind of for the developer, where they are being, like, Epic Game Store is doing what's best for their pockets, and the indie developers have to do what's best for themselves, because they're indie and they're running on a tight budget.
And
so they're going to the Epic Store and saying fuck you to all their consumer base.
That's their decision. If they want to say,
but their consumer base, though, the consumer is the end product that they want to sell to,
and they will get the backlash from that.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying.
Wants to do that, if the dev wants to fuck over their consumer, then the dev will suffer those consequences. If they think the money from the Epic Game Store is worth fucking over their consumer, that's their prerogative.
But it's not going to be. The theoretical is not that it's going to make more money on the Epic Game Store. It's that they're getting more money up front from the Epic Game Store.
But yes.
But that's what I'm saying. It's directly only beneficial, not in a supply and demand sense. It's best in a, I made a backroom deal to do an exclusive deal. But the idea is that in a supply and demand, there is a demand for it to be on the Epic Game Store. There is an expectation that there's a demand that it.
There's no demand that it's going to be on the Epic Game Store. No one's demanding.
I flipped my words. Yeah. There is a expectation and a demand that their game, which was told to the consumers, would be on a certain platform.
Yeah, that would
and
be
is
on
now
Steam.
going exclusive. That is bad capitalism to me, because you have told your consumer base that you're going to have a product available to their easiest convenience, and you have now made it more inconvenient for personal gain.
Yeah. That's the developer's fault, though.
But it's not, because Shenmue's a little bit different because they pissed away all their money. But as an indie developer perspective that I'm trying to take, it's like, how can you say no to guaranteed money as opposed to just taking a gamble? And then who's to say that Epic Game Store is going to let you on there after you tell them no? You know what I mean? Because then you're you're guaranteed to close yourself off 100% from another market, won't. Right?
The Epic. So that story that I told you, where the guy said that he said no to Epic.
Yeah.
They
just said no to their exclusive deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said, we don't want your game on our platform unless it's exclusive. So
see, that's
you're
hardball.
Right.
That's super hardball. That's
no, I completely agree.
And that's super bad. I fucking say that's bullshit, because that is directly tied to all the deals they are making, because it's the same mentality, because it would end, the end results would be one or the other. That's super dirty.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And I'm saying that's Epic's fault.
But no. Yeah,
that's Epic's fault.
That's Epic's fault. But when the developer says yes to Epic, that's the developer's fault.
But again, without Epic putting them in that position, what would the developer do? They would just put it on both platforms.
It's not like but it's not like Epic is taking something away and forcing them in that position. They were They were at a status. They were at a neutral position before Epic introduced something extra. So they're not taking anything
away.
But
extra that was like, how can you say no?
Yeah.
And if you do say no, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot.
No, because nobody fucking cares about the Epic Store. You're not shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes, no, lots of people do, because people now are forced to go to the Epic Store so often that it's becoming the Steam thing. Their marketing and their strategy is working for Epic, but it is fucking over the consumer base, and the consumer is the end result. The only reason the indie developers are going to Epic is for guaranteed money, as opposed to rolling the dice and letting the market decide whether their game is actually worth being purchased by the consumer. That is the problem I'm having. It's not true capitalism. True capitalism, it is. No, because there is a demand for it to be on Steam.
Yeah.
So then why isn't it on Steam?
Because the developers are making bad decisions.
Again, but then they are being put in a position where you can't say no to
Yes,
Epic.
they can.
No, they can't.
100% can.
No, they can't.
You're taking agency away from the developers. They 100% can say no.
They
care about their
consumers. It's totally bad business for them to say no.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because
taking a loss is not a bad business decision. Being pro-consumer, like fucking Amazon.
No, that's free money. It's not a loss, Ken.
When
a loss is putting your game out and letting the market decide whether it's actually good. That's what they're trying to avoid. They're avoiding it by getting a boatload of money up front to guarantee monetary success for a game that might flop.
Yeah, well, then that's the decision they have to make.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's bad. That's bad game design, because what's going to happen, right? Now, this is a theoretical, and the idea is that if the game doesn't actually sell on Epic and Epic buys... Okay, here's a scenario. Let's let it play it out. Indie developer goes to Epic exclusivity. Let's say, just for the argument's sake, that it's complete exclusivity.
Yeah.
No chance of it ever going onto Steam or another platform, right?
Okay.
They get money up front that guarantees monetary success in their books for the developer to be profitable.
Yes.
Let's then say that the game flops, right? There's two scenarios that come of it. They walk away with their money and they say, we tried, we didn't make a good enough game, nobody wanted to buy it. Steam's not going to give us, Epic's not going to give us money up front again to be exclusive for a game that flopped initially. Or they're encouraged to keep making garbage and there's no actual quality assurance of the best rises to the top based on what consumers actually want, because consumers are almost taken out of the equation by Epic initially just saying, don't worry about whether your game's actually good or not. We just want a catalog that makes it so that Steam gets the finger. Like, it's just bad business. I just don't like it as because it encourages shitty games to be more relevant than an actual good game, because you know that you don't have to make a good game to make your money back. You just have to make a game that's going to want to be bought by Epic. That doesn't make it a good game. That doesn't make good quality. It doesn't make it a good consumer product. I'm caring about what the consumer product is, because that realistically is what business is based off of.
But who's making the consumer product?
The developer.
There we go.
But being published by somebody is also having a hand in its development.
Okay, look, I'll say it like this.
Like DC makes bad movies, their properties are good, but they make bad business decisions by making Batman in these movies so poorly.
Yes.
Or at least choosing to make him so poorly. That is them doing a direct property of themselves. I'm trying to find a better example, but I'm thinking about the consumer. I'm thinking about the consumer first.
You know how you stop this? Blame the fucking developer, not Epic.
But if you blame the developer's not going to make another game, and nobody's going to. If the consumer blames the developer then makes no money by nobody buying their game.
Yeah, that's the sacrifice they make by going to Epic. Yeah, they get the boatload of money up front.
That's not good for an actual consumer, though. That just makes
I completely agree. Which is why the next developer will think twice about doing it.
I mean, maybe, but again. It's a deal that you would be near crazy and indignant and almost narcissistic to say no to, because it's guaranteeing that your business in the now is a success. I understand from the developer's perspective is enticing, but it does not make doesn't guarantee or even make a good product.
Yeah, it doesn't. Just money. It doesn't even guarantee a good business decision.
But that's the thing. Don't you think that in a capitalist market that it should be on the most amount of platforms? Like, how many times does an Avenger movie or a big Marvel movie only come out in one theater?
Never.
Exactly. But they have to do deals with tons of different movie theaters and all these different businesses.
Yeah.
Imagine if Cineplex was like, no movies are being shown at any other theaters. No more of the Hollywood 3. The one we always go to, Landmark.
Yeah.
Landmark doesn't get any more fucking Marvel movies because Cineplex has bought out the fucking whole market. So now, when you have to go see a Marvel movie, you don't get the nice reclining seats at Landmark anymore. You don't get the nice couple.
I would blame the producers.
But you'd still go see it.
Yeah, I'd probably still go see it.
See, that's the problem. That's not making it... The consumer should be the focus.
Yes.
Like, making a good art project is one big thing that should be held up, and the other big pillars should be consumer product.
I 100% agree, which is why I think you should blame the developer.
But I disagree because it's a money thing.
It's seedy business from Epic, but it's not Epic's fault that somebody else makes a bad decision.
But it is a good decision for themselves.
No, it's not. Because if they piss off their player, if they piss off the consumer like that, then future games nobody's going to trust them, and their current game might be a flop. Like it's a good.
But don't you think that would be more faithful to the consumer to say, we're not taking Epic's money and we're going to let the merits of our game be judged on the merits of its game?
Yeah,
because
I think that's a better business decision.
Because it doesn't even denote that the game was bad for people not buying it on the Epic Game Store. It just denotes that people are saying no to the shitty business practices of Epic. This is why I am personally holding Epic accountable, because what you're saying is people not buying the game because it's going to the Epic Game Store. They're buying it specifically because of Epic's business practices. If Epic was just like, okay, you don't want the deal? Fine. Be on Steam, be here, but we're not giving you any extra money. Your game, on its merits, will either be a success or it won't. I would want to live in that reality, and I would have no problem with the Epic Game Store whatsoever. The problem I have with the Epic Game Store is the Epic Game Store's business practices.
That's fine, but again, like, that's shitty business practice. I completely agree, but I'm going to reiterate my point. It's not their fault that somebody else makes a bad decision.
But it is.
No,
it
because
is.
Like
they're choking the market out. They are the ones choking the market out. They are the ones making the ultimatum. They are the ones with the money that are in control, that are making the business decisions.
But when developers do that, and like I said, they can only do it once because then the consumer won't trust them again.
Maybe
like that.
Maybe that's
was it Shenmue that you said?
Shenmue 3. Yeah, it got a whole bunch of backing from Kickstarter.
Yeah,
basically, was told that it was fully funded. It wasn't actually fully funded. They pissed all the money away in development, barely doing much, and then they went for Epic Game exclusivity after they had already told people who have already technically bought the game and were told that it was going to be on Steam to move it to Epic. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. So that's fucked up for me to buy Borderlands 3 for PS4 and then Microsoft to come by and be like, no Borderlands on PS4 anymore. It's Microsoft exclusive. That's fucked up. I'm pissed off at Microsoft for doing that.
I would be pissed off at the dev for signing that away. No,
because again, they're put in a position where it's like, we would be insane as our own entity to say no to this. They're put in a position where saying no would make them fucking so stupid and would probably put them under faster.
No, I think you're underestimating the power of the consumer.
Like, it doesn't have any market value when you have the aspect of the Epic Game Store being involved with their type of business practices. It's like how do I put this? It's like an unknown variable that gets added to the equation that breaks the equation, right? The equation is, I develop game, I am running a business. This business needs to be profitable to be able to even make the game. Then I need to put the game out, and then people will judge the game based on its merits, whether then it is actually fully profitable, right? Because you could go under making a game.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Most games do, I would say.
I'm sure a lot of projects don't see the light of day, and still tons of games get released that are broken as shit. Stuff like that, right?
Just so we're clear, in this scenario, you promised it would be on Steam, right? Because that's kind of the big dick issue. I feel
like that's the default, right? Yeah. Is that it would be on Steam because most people use Steam. I would say that 90% of people, up until like 6 months ago, 90 to 99% of people had Steam as their major game service on PC. And really, this is not a fight that I should really give a shit about because I'm on PC and I'm PS4, and I'm completely immune to all of it. Like when I heard that Borderlands 3 was on Epic, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm buying it for PS4.
Yeah, I guess they don't really do that on consoles anymore.
They can't because it's already
they used to do timed exclusives on consoles.
Yes, that's true. They did do a lot of those, but it's usually DLC.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
it'd be like Call of Duty's coming first on Microsoft.
Yeah,
the DLC's like 2 weeks early. It's so insignificant.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Epic Game Store is making it way less insignificant, much more significant.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying just from my, we can disagree. That's fine. We can disagree on this, but I hold Epic Game Store responsible for this decision because it wouldn't make any sense for the developer to say no. You know what I mean? Shenmue 3, the guy wants the game to come out by any means necessary. Realistically, as a business, if he's already pissed all the money that people gave away for a hypothetical dream, then those people are chumps and that guy can't run a business properly. Well, and that's to me, it would be more realistic in a capitalistic sense of the game was funded, you have money, you could do whatever you want creatively. You have no restraints. Nobody's telling you no to do anything, right? Yeah. If you can't run a business properly to even get the game to a shelf, the metaphorical shelf, then you fucked up as a business owner, right?
So the developer of Shenmue
then I would hold.
Well, they did that,
and I hold them accountable because they're egregious as fuck because people have already paid for it.
Yes.
So those people should still get Steam keys for the game they paid for. Right?
Yes.
And it can be on Epic Game Store. Maybe it should be like a secret thing, like a backdoor. If you only have a code, you can't purchase it on Steam. That would be my
Epic doesn't want it at all.
Exactly. And that's, who's saying that? It's Epic. You know what I mean? If fucking Shenmue people had it their way, and if the indie developers had their way, what do you think they would want? They would want it on both. Because realistically, that would go to the biggest market possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%. They would want it on both.
And I don't... It's just bad capitalism to me. It's bad. It's dirty capitalism. And the people that I hold accountable are the people moving the chips and the pawns and the pieces. And that's not the developers.
It's not bad capitalism. I guarantee you, once this kind of backlash starts happening more and more, you're going to see less and less developers take the Epic deal. Because it's...
I don't think so.
Like you said, it's a boatload of money up front, but you're sacrificing a shit ton of your consumers.
I feel like 90% of developers are going to take it, especially indie developers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they will. And I think they're going to consider it now, but I think give it a year or so, it's going to happen way less.
I don't know. I mean, I guess
free market speaks, man.
We have to come back to it to see, I guess. We're going to have to keep an eye on it, but I really do think that Epic Game Store is going to do this shitty business practice shit, and they're going to get away with it, and nobody's going to give a fuck. Not anybody's going to give a fuck, but they're going to get away with doing shitty business, and it's not going to even put a dent in them, and nobody's going to care, and maybe less people will take the deal, but I still feel like 90% of people that Epic's going to go to, if they're not already like Sony or Microsoft, where they already have their shit on their consoles, because that makes sense a little bit, because they just want extra profit.
Yeah.
But indie developers, I feel like it's the ones that are going to hurt the most, where they're going to be lulled into this fantasy that their game is successful, and then it's not going to be successful, and they're going to be left with a bag of money, and no satisfaction for the art that they created.
Yeah, and then they're not going to be trusted again.
But it's Epic that's doing it. They're the Emperor Palpatine saying, "Do it."
Yeah.
Do it.
It's Anakin's, but Anakin is the one who killed the kids. Yes, I blame him.
It's Palpatine that corrupts them.
It's Anakin that did it.
It is Anakin that does it, but
I'm not blaming Palpatine for killing the kids.
But Palpatine is Epic Game Store, and Anakin is the developer being on both, right? Yeah. And then Anakin as Darth Vader killing kids is him in the Epic Game Store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He wouldn't be killing kids if Emperor Palpatine didn't come along and say, "Get."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if he only killed some kids, then he'd be on both stores, you know?
I guess so, yeah. If he killed kids and was not killing Jedi, then it would be a 50-50 split.
I don't know. I blame Anakin for killing them kids. He's primarily responsible for that.
Not without Palpatine, though. He's a factor. He's a factor you can't deny.
I don't think we're going to make any headway on this.
That's fine. We can agree to disagree. That's fine.
Do you have any words of wisdom?
Fuck the Epic Game Store now.
No, I completely agree with that. Fuck the Epic Game Store. I just hate it when people blame, like I said, I just want to be very specific about this. I don't want to have this debate again. I just want to be super specific about my trigger. I don't like it when people blame the Epic Game Store on other people making bad decisions.
I disagree, and I blame almost entirely Epic Game Store.
I do blame a little bit of the devs.
I do acknowledge the fact that the developer is at fault for making the final decision.
Okay, fine.
But I place if we were gonna put a graph of who's at fault for this, I'm gonna say, if I'm gonna be totally honest, I'd probably put it higher. But I'm gonna to be nice and try to be even about it, I'd say it's 70% Epic's fault, which is more than a majority. It's enough to pass in high school. and 30% on the developer. That's my perspective.
Right. Well, in Shenmue's case, I'm going to blame it all on the developer.
That's a specific case where it's like, fuck you, developer, you're a fucking piece of shit. Because people already literally paid for the game. Like, it's not even a hypothetical. The game might come out on Steam. It's no, I've paid for the game on Steam.
They promised it. They charge people. Anyway, so go ahead. Your words of wisdom.
My words of wisdom is, Hammer don't quit. He's too legit to quit.
All right, everyone.
Have a good night. Go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves. See ya.